inspiration and sacrifice of Jackie Robinson to Billie Jean King to Jesse Owens. That future is embodied in Melanie Williams-Taylor.
Welcome in, everybody, to WCBN Sports Coverage Ann Arbor of Michigan basketball. Today we have the exhibition matchup for the Wolverines. Michigan basketball faces off against the Wayne State Warriors, Division II of the GLIAC Conference, and it's Zach Linfield here alongside Albert Kaskel. It's the first time we've called the game together, and we have a beautiful venue in front of us. Basketball's back. That's all we have to say about this matchup.
Basketball is back, and it should be a fun one here. Good opportunity to see the changes these teams have made, the addition, the loss of some players, and see the new product.
And when we talk about this new arena, it's the Wayne State University Fieldhouse. It's the inaugural game, the first game ever at this arena for the Warriors, for the Motor City Cruise, and that's also the dual home of the Detroit Pistons G League affiliate, the Motor City Cruise. And it's a beautiful arena. It seats about 3,000 people, and construction of this arena began in the summer of 2019. $25 million went into this beautiful facility, and well, we're sitting courtside, and I mean, we look across to this Wayne State student sections to our left. There's obviously a paint of maize and blue across the stadium as well, and it's a beautiful venue.
They just did a spectacular job coming up with this place. $25 million was for sure put to use, and it's awesome for the students here. It's going to be great for the Motor City Cruise, and it should attract some more basketball players to come out of Detroit to play for Wayne State.
It's very modern. There's like nice seats with cushioned backgrounds. There's a lot of scoreboards. There's a massive scoreboard on the right end of the arena as the Wayne State Warriors are going to take the court. They'll be wearing the all grays with the neon green trim and the dark green lettering. But when we walk in, there was outside festivities with a court right in front of the field house where fans could shoot baskets. There was a couple of food trucks, and they're really going all out for this first game. And it's not just the first game for, like I said, Wayne State, but the Motor City Cruise still have yet to play their first game here as well. So it's absolutely wonderful here at Wayne State. But we got to talk about the team, and that starts with the lone captain that the Wolverines have right now. That's Eli Brooks. He'll be back for his 5th season. The professor looking to get it done for Michigan.
He's the ultimate glue guy. He's the Wolverines without him just never look right. You saw that last year against Minnesota. He does everything well for them. Hits the big shots. Gets the rebounds you need. He's one of the best perimeter defenders at his size in the country. So the Wolverines are really nothing without Eli Brooks.
And Michigan also boasts a guy that they thought they might lose in the offseason, a guy that tipped his toes in the NBA waters. That's Hunter Dickinson. He's found his way back to the court, and the Michigan 7'1", 260-pound senior from Alexandria, Virginia, will be back for his 2nd season. And he finally gets to say hello to the Michigan faithful. There was no fans in the stands last year. They'll love him in Ann Arbor.
Yes, they will. He's a fan favorite when he walks around on campus. It's hard not to see the guy at 7'1".
7'1".
They love him. They love him in Ann Arbor, and he tested the waters. He got the feedback he needed. He's in much better shape, slimmed down a little bit, and worked a lot on his perimeter jump shot along with his right hand, which should be the necessary changes to make him a legitimate NBA prospect.
And there are also quite a few freshmen that are joining this team. Today inactive will be Frankie Collins, but he'll join the program, and he'll be a fantastic guard for him. But you look at other guys like Kobe Buffkin. You've got guys like Devontae Jones, who's not a freshman, but he is a transfer in from Coastal Carolina. Musa Diabate, Caleb Houston, Will Cheddar. They're going to be guys that are going to have significant roles for the Wolverines throughout this season, bearing any injuries. It's going to be nice to get them some experience and hopefully a game like this before the season really gets going next Wednesday against Buffalo.
Yeah, the coaches are obviously going to rave about their players, as they should with this amount of talent, but you never really know what you have until you see them on the court. So it's a good low-stakes environment for these players to show what they got, show how their game translates at the collegiate level, and just see it all.
You know Wayne State wants to come in, and they're going to want to win the first game on their home floor. Unfortunately, they have to do it against the biggest basketball powerhouse in the state, the University of Michigan. And although it is an exhibition game, the two teams have met 8 times ever. Michigan has taken all 8. The last time was back in 2014 to the 15 season, so it was November of 2014 where Michigan won by almost 40 points. So the Warriors haven't seen the Wolverines in quite some time, but Michigan is no stranger to GLIAC opponents. 2 years ago, they faced off against Saginaw Valley State. 3 years ago, they played Northwood. How do you feel about these exhibition games and getting the team ready for the actual regular season?
Well, it poses an awesome opportunity for both teams. The Wolverines, to them, it's basically a tune-up game, so they can get ready, face legitimate competition, and get ready for the gauntlet of a season they have ahead of them with some high opponents, the non-conference opponents like Buffalo, Seton Hall, and North Carolina, and obviously the stacked Big Ten. And then for Wayne State, it's an awesome opportunity. A lot of these kids that grew up in Detroit or in the Michigan area likely play with each other growing up, so it's cool to compete against some people they know and also just face elite competition, prepare for the season.
And this will be the first time ever hearing the national anthem here at Wayne State University. But quickly, we got to talk about the coach, Juwan Howard, and they're actually going to get to it right now. So we're going to turn the lights all the way up. You guys can hear the national anthem the first time ever here at the Wayne State University Fieldhouse.
As we welcome the Wayne State Chorale to lead us in our national anthem.
And just a wonderful rendition of the national anthem by the Wayne State Chorale and the group that they had singing that. We're going to get to the starting lineups here, and the starting lineups for the Wayne State Warriors will begin. It's going to be number 11, Braylon Neely, the fifth-year senior out of Detroit, Michigan. Number 14, Darian Owens-White. Number 23, Ray Williams Jr. Number 32, Tyree Martin. And number 33, Avery Lewis. The head coach of the Wayne State Warriors in year number 21 is David Greer. He was honored before the game, before opening the Wayne State University Fieldhouse. The University of Michigan starting lineup will be number 1, Hunter Dickinson. Number 12, Devontae Jones, the transfer from Coastal Carolina. Number 22, that's the freshman, Caleb Houston. Number 23, Brandon Johns Jr., who has a big opportunity to fill in that missing role of Isaiah Livers after graduation. And the professor, number 55, Eli Brooks, is back. You look at the starting lineup. Who are you most focused on in this exhibition game? Who needs the most work to prove themselves in the starting role?
To prove themselves, I'd say it's Brandon Johns Jr. He reminds me a little bit of the Austin Davis, Hunter Dickinson situation last year, where Brandon's earned the spot to start. He showed it last year in March Madness, but there's a lot of talent, especially at power forward on the bench. So he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder compared to some other players in the starting lineup. He's got to perform from the start, or there's guys like Musa Diabate or Terrence Williams to come up and steal his spot.
And you obviously root for Brandon Johns Jr., but you always root for the two guys as well to get as much of a role as they can early for this team. That way, just in case Brandon Johns Jr. has another injury flare-up. He sprained his ankle 2 years ago and was out for a while. Isaiah Livers, when he had his injury a couple years ago to his hip or his groin, you need those guys to be able to fill in, and by getting that experience, that's exactly how you're going to do it in games like this, an exhibition game against Wayne State, where you're expected to win by quite a few points down here in Detroit.
Yeah, this is a game where you come out the starting lineup, you get them in rhythm, you run your sets, but you also got to make sure you let those players play a little bit. And the Wolverines have a problem, and it's a good problem. It's probably the best problem you can have as a head coach. It's
too much depth.
They have too much depth, and they have too many good players. So, I mean, it obviously hurts. Some guys are very talented and won't see the court, but that's a problem Juwan Howard will not complain about.
As Wayne State's currently going through their starting lineups, courtesy of the public address announcer, they're talking about two guys specifically. That's Braylon Neely, who averaged 17 points a game last season. Darian Owens-White averaged 18 points a game last season. Wayne State is known for their offense in the GLIAC Conference. They were third in scoring last year in the conference, and not to mention, they were conference champions. They won the GLIAC for the first time in quite some time. Now we flip the script back to Michigan. Defensively, who do you have your eye on for the Michigan defense? Is it Dickinson down below? Is it Eli Brooks? Is he going to lead the team in steals again?
I'd say it's Eli Brooks. I'd expect the same production he's shown in the past, but I also want to highlight how big of an impact Diabate Jones will make defensively this year for Michigan, because as great as Mike Smith was, he's very undersized for the point guard position, especially in marquee matchups where you're facing a Sharif Cooper in March Madness, or you're facing an elite Big Ten guard of the many they are. So the size Diabate Jones brings, he's 6'1", he's got a 6'6" wingspan, coming in at around 200 pounds. That's a guy who could guard the big guys in the Big Ten and marquee matchups. So that's something that will really help this Michigan defense, I believe.
Wayne State was 12-7 last season, 8-1 at home in Matai Arena. However, the Wayne State University Fieldhouse getting their first run of the mill for Wayne State and Michigan. Michigan 23-5 last season with an appearance in the Elite Eight, which they fell short to UCLA, as we're just about set for Michigan and Wayne State. The Warriors of the GLIAC Conference in their all-gray uniforms with the dark green trim and the neon green trim also around that dark green. Michigan in their blue uniforms with the maize trim and the white lettering around it. Dickinson set to jump it off with Tyree Martin. Michigan wins the jump, and across the midcourt logo for the first time this season is Eli Brooks. He gives way to Brandon Johns Jr. on the right wing outside the arc. He now reverses, gives to Diabate Jones. Jones gets a screen from Dickinson, works around Martin, throws into the post. That's Dickinson up, and is blocked away by Tyree Martin. And Wayne State's got it across the midcourt logo. Neely over to Owens-White into the corner. Back to the top of the key for Neely. Neely gives away to Lewis. Over to Owens-White. He drives the lane off the glass, no good. Rebound's going to go back to the Warriors. That's the point guard, Owens-White. Back top of the key to Neely. A three-point try for Lewis. It's no good. Another offensive board. Owens-White, the little guy, getting involved. Neely, a three-point try from the top of the key. It's good.
Not to start the Wolverines in vision. 2 offensive rebounds right off the bat. It's not how you want to start a game like this.
Diabate Jones over to Dickinson. Back over to Johns, gets a screen from Dickinson. That's Caleb Houston's first time with the ball. Jones back to Houston, driving the lane. Three-point kick out for Brooks. It's good. Michigan ties the game at 3, just under a minute into the ball game. Quick pass into the corner for Wayne State. Now at the top of the key is Lewis. Neely over to Owens-White. Into the far post, that's Martin. Martin trying to back down Johns. A couple of shoulder shrugs. A hook shot. Pretty similar to Xavier Simpson's a couple years ago. It's no good. Dickinson with the board across the midcourt stripe. That's Jones. Jones looks down Neely, who he has a size advantage on. Caleb Houston now with the ball. He gets a screen from Dickinson. Free throw line jumper for Dickinson. It's way off to the left side. Rebound's going to go out of bounds, and it will remain with the Wolverines.
Dickinson might have missed that about 20-footer, but it's good to see him taking that shot. That's something the pros looked for when he tested the waters, and if he can hit that, this team's unstoppable.
And Juwan Howard wanted him to come back so he could work on that shot especially. The inbound pass goes from Jones to Johns. Inside Dickinson, working in the post. The left hook shot, no good. Rebound goes to Martin. Martin gives way to Owens-White, who's defended by Brooks at the midcourt stripe. Top of the key. He gets 2 screens, goes on both of them, still defended by Brooks. Step back jumper for 3, that's good. Wayne State leads 6-3, under 2 minutes.
Wayne State coming up hot, and Wolverines got to keep responding here.
Diabate Jones now with the ball. The transfer from Coastal Carolina gave way to Houston, who lost the ball. It's back to Jones. Michigan has the ball at the top of the key. Jones looking inside Dickinson. What a pass over to Johns. He goes up with it. It's no good, but a foul will be called. That'll be the first foul of the game.
Fantastic ball movement from the Wolverines. On every set so far, they've looked good moving the ball. Gotten good looks, and we'll start falling soon. Great cut there by Brandon Johns to get to the line.
The foul goes against Tyree Martin, the first foul in the Wayne State University arena. Brandon Johns Jr. will shoot free throws for the Wolverines. 80% thrower last season. The first one is good, just above the rim. 6-4 is the lead for Wayne State. 17:36 on the clock here in the first half. Same starters in the game for both teams. Michigan currently has Brooks, Johns, Dickinson, Houston, and Jones on the floor. John's second free throw is good. It's a 6-5 Wayne State lead. They have a 1-point advantage. Neely will begin with the ball. He's defended by Jones after the inbound pass across the midcourt logo. Couple dribbles with the right hand, now gives way to Owens-White. He's defended by Brooks after the screen. Around the screen goes Owens-White. Johns defends. The rebound's going to go out of bounds, not touched by anyone. Ball will go over to Michigan.
You could just tell off the bat, Darian Owens-White is not scared to shoot the ball. And there's a reason he averaged 18 last year. The kid knows how to score.
Devontae Jones quickly for the Wolverines, goes around a screen. Inside, there's a foul call on the floor. It looks like it's going to be a block called on the far baseline. There is no shot. So Michigan will have to roll with an inbound. The foul goes against number 11, Braylon Neely.
That's his first team.
He's a local guy, Wayne State here in Detroit. He attended Western International High School, also in the city of Detroit. Inbound pass, Brooks to Houston. Back to the far corner for Brooks. Dickinson backing down his man. In the far post, looking, inside the Johns. He goes up with it, it's good. Michigan has their first lead of the afternoon at 7-6, just under 17 minutes. Owens-White, there's a big screen, it's an offensive foul. It'll go against Tyree Martin. That'll be his second. He'll have to check out. And Talbot will check in for the Warriors.
Hunter Dickinson is a crazy underrated passer, it's very important for this team. He's going to see a lot of doubles this year. He's got to make the right read, and Brandon Johns Jr. having a strong power forward like that really opens up the floor for not only Hunter but Brandon, and we'll give him a lot of easy buckets this year.
7-6 is the lead for the Wolverines. 16:50 on the clock. Brandon Johns Jr. has the ball, looking for a back cut to Houston. It's taken away by the Warriors. Pushing it up the court is Avery Lewis, looking to the far corner for Owens-White. No shot. He's defended by Brooks. Staring down, Eli now gives to the top of the key to Lewis. A reversal to Neely. Jones defending. Back to Owens-White, top of the key. Lewis looking at a three, doesn't take it. Now drives the lane, goes with the offhand. It's no good. Offensive board. Lewis puts it up with the left hand again. That one's no good. Rebound by Brandon Johns Jr. He gives away to Devontae Jones. He's across the 10-court stripe. Inside, Dickinson. Back out, Johns. He looks at a three. From the top of the key, it's no good. Rebound. Once tipped by Dickinson, it's away. Lewis has it. Neely now has it for the Warriors, driving the lane against Houston. Not going to get around him. Now gets a screen from Talbot. He had a carry dribble. Brings it to the far post. Devontae Jones in coverage of Lewis. Neely gives Talbot a jumper from the free throw stripe. It's no good. Dickinson the rebound. That's Jones now with it. He's past midcourt. Looking at Neely. Gets a screen from Brandon Johns Jr. A wide open three is no good. Owens-White with the rebound. 7-6 Michigan leads. 15:35 left to go in the first half. Owens-White with it. Gets a screen. Looks down Brooks. A jumper. No good off the back iron. Houston with the rebound. He got up there for it.
Wolverines starting to settle in defensively here.
Houston gets a screen from Dickinson. Dribbles with the right hand. Now looks into the key. Johns, a pump fake, goes around him. Goes up with the shot, that's good. And that's pure strength from Brandon Johns, who's limping back a little gingerly for the Wolverines. It's a 9-6 lead for the Maize and Blue. You don't like to see that early.
No, you don't, but they're making it apparent that they want to get the ball to Brandon Johns. And missed a couple wide open looks, but overall he looks great.
Neely gives a Talbot back to the top of the key to Lewis. Lewis tried a back cut, and it's thrown out of bounds. This will be the first timeout. 14:52 to go in the first half. The Wolverines lead 9-6. The Warriors had a hot hand with a couple of three-pointers early as Musa Diabate will check in for the first time after this quick timeout. Michigan and Wayne State here at the Wayne State University Fieldhouse at Albert. That was a quick couple minutes.
Yeah,
nice to get back into the rhythm of basketball.
These players, well, you could say offensively they skipped a beat, but shots are going to start falling, and good defense by both sides. Wolverines, a little bit of a sloppy start, couple turnovers, but starting to look in form. One thing I want to point out is a few possessions ago, Devontae Jones was in the low post. He's getting posted up by number 33, Avery Lewis on Wayne State. He comes in at 6'6", 215, and there was absolutely no give from Devontae Jones. He had to pass out of that. He was about 6-7 feet away from the hoop, but still wasn't able to score on him. And if he can play that physical, if he can guard at that level, it's going to be a tough task.
Devontae Jones led the Sun Belt Conference last season in steals at 73 total steals. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. He's not a small guard. At 6'1", you may think, oh, that's short to the college standard, but 200 pounds for a guard, he's a sturdy guy as a graduate senior.
Yes, he is. He's a guy that can elevate the rim like the best of them, which Wolverines haven't seen much of. You go from Xavier Simpson, who obviously had his little trick shots around the hoop, but not a guy that's going to go up strong for a layup and finish over anyone. You go to Mike Smith, who usually beat teams with his speed, getting to the rack and scoop layups, but Devontae Jones can elevate and finish.
Jones, Houston, Diabate, Dickinson, and Brooks for the Wolverines. No substitutions for the Warriors. Jones has it. A hook pass to Houston on the far sideline. Houston drives. A right-handed shot. That's his first, and it goes through as a Wolverine. Michigan leads at 11-6 over the Warriors here. Just under 14:40 left to go in the first half. Neely has the ball, defended by Jones. He plays real crouched over. Nice defense. As Adrian Nunez now comes to the scorer's table for Michigan. Darian Owens-White has the ball at the far wing outside the three-point arc. Now defended by Diabate. Warriors go far post. Lewis has it, backing down Eli Brooks. Inside pass, it's a good one. That's going to be Talbot making the shot. Juwan Howard blocking our view. But Dickinson's going to be called for goaltending. And it's an 11-8 lead for Michigan.
So something notable is Adrian Nunez checking into this game early. Wolverines lost a lot of shooting in Shawnee Brown and Isaiah Livers from last year. They're going to need a shooter to step up, and Nunez is going to get a fair shot.
Only got 3.4 minutes a game last season. Significant drop after the 2019 year. Michigan has it. Diabate, pump fake on a three. Fires a two. It's no good. Rebound goes to Wayne State. Ray Williams Jr. has it. He hasn't touched the ball much in this game. He goes up against Dickinson on the reversal. It's no good. Michigan gets to it. It's Dickinson. Jones in a 1-on-2. Looks far corner. Nunez for three. Got it. Book it home. Michigan leads by 6.
That's a guy who's got to get his confidence going, and if he starts making shots, he could be a huge contributor for this team.
He won the three-point contest at Michigan Madness a couple of weeks ago. Neely working against Jones. Gets a good screen from Talbot. Looks far corner. That's a three-point try for Owens-White. It's in and out, and Nunez is going to grab the rebound. Jones has it. Good transition for Michigan. Diabate drives the lane looking far corner. Houston's going to take a three, but it's a foul called on the drive against Diabate.
Michigan fans should be very excited about the front court combination of Musa and Hunter this year. I think they'll complement each other's games perfectly. Musa can stretch the floor as well as Hunter, and I mean, if you're a front court facing those two guys and they're on, it's unstoppable. It's unstoppable to me.
First game action for Wayne State's Mike Robinson. Terrence Williams checks in for the Wolverines. Inbounds pass goes from Jones to Diabate at the top of the key, outside the three-point arc, over to Houston on the left wing. He gets a screen from Diabate. Houston drives to the right hand, looks up, it's no good. The foul is going to go against Talbot. It's a shooting foul. The shot was no good, but Caleb Houston's going to go to the line.
Houston may be 18 years old and a freshman, but he looks like he's been playing college basketball for a while, and that's a product of him playing at a high school powerhouse like Montverde, and he just looks like a vet. You can already tell, super high IQ player.
The 6'8 freshman from Ontario, Canada, taking his first free throws in a Michigan uniform. They lead it by 6, 13-14 to go. First one's off the back iron and no good. Checking in for the Warriors, number 21, Caden Augustine, the redshirt freshman from Ypsilanti, just a couple minutes outside Ann Arbor. Houston patiently awaiting the ball from the referee at the baseline. Now gets it. A couple dribbles and 3 spins. Ball in the right hand. Fires away. It's good. He goes 1 for 2 at the charity stripe. Michigan leads 15-8. Offense has been run through Owens, White, and Neely so far. Here's Robinson getting the ball. Now to the top of the key to Neely. Looking down to the block, and it's thrown almost out of bounds. Now the referees will make a call. It will stay Wayne State basketball. They're going to say it's off on Adrian Nunez, and the ball will remain to our left side. Referees concurring very quickly. And Neely will now inbound the ball. Looking for Robinson at the post, isn't able to get it there. Now it's Owens-White at the near corner. Gives way to Lewis, defended by Terrence Williams. A quick crossover dribble into the post. It's blocked away by Williams. That's great defense at the near post. Williams says, get that out of here. Ball remains Wayne State with 11 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Terrence is going to be a big-time player for the Wolverines this year off the bench, and could find his way into the starting lineup.
Providing a lot of defense for the Wolverines. Ball's inbounded to Owens White, defended by Nunez. Lewis back over to Neely. A pop shot for 3. It's no good. Nunez with the rebound. He's been on the boards quickly off the bench. He gives way to Jones across the midcourt logo. He's defended by Owens White. Looks for the pick and roll, but it's not there. Diabate now has the ball at the far post. Looking down his man Augustine. Into the post. Pops up for the shot. It's no good. There's an offensive foul.
I believe he walked with it, actually.
It is going to be an offensive foul for a hook on Diabate. It could have been a walk. It just happened to go instead against Musa Diabate. That's the first Michigan foul of the game. Wayne State's been called for 5. Michigan called for 1. With 12:30 to go in the first half, Michigan leads by 7, 15-8. Neely drives the lane against Jones. Popped up shot, it's no good. Blocked away by Diabate pretty aggressively for Michigan. Houston gives way to Diabate. Inside, and that one's blocked away. Avery Lewis says no thank you, and the ball will remain with the Wolverines.
Diabate does not play scared. I mean, that guy's one to put it all out on the line. He wants to score. And, I mean, with that frame and that athleticism, it shouldn't be too much of a challenge for him.
The 6'4" freshman from Grand Rapids, Kobe Buffkin, gets his first action. You know, he won the dunk contest at Michigan Madness, and it's simply not because the other 3 contestants couldn't make a dunk. Kobe Buffkin now has the ball at the top of the key. Looks to the corner. Caleb Houston, a 3. No good. It went in and out. The rebound goes to Augustine. Neely now has it. A pass to Owens White. Good transition offense for the Warriors. He lost his dribble, now still has it. Robinson now on a flip pass back to Neely. Defended by Buffkin. Gets a screen. It's an offensive foul.
There is just so much young talent on the court for the Wolverines right now. Right there you had 3 of the 5 players on the court were freshmen who were also McDonald's All-Americans.
All 3 of them.
Yes, it's wild that 2 of those players are coming off the bench. Most teams in college would be lucky to have them as their marquee player, and the fact that the Wolverines have the luxury of developing these guys and giving them big minutes off the bench it can't be understated.
And perhaps my favorite thing about playing here at Wayne State is there's no media timeouts, so we ignore the under 12 as we are now under 12 minutes. 15-8 is the Michigan lead. Buffkin has it at the left wing. Lost his dribble. Now looking up is Augustine. He gives way to Wayne State's Neely. Goes in against Diabate. Off the glass. It's no good. And the ball is going to go in Wayne State's favor. It was Diabate against Neely all the way down the floor. Diabate got back real quick, and he just got in the way of Neely's shot.
There is a lot to like about Musa Diabate. The guy has not given up on plays. Had a fast break, but he sprinted back and caused a miss, and that's the stuff that will win you big games.
Quick inbounds pass, shots up, and it's good for Avery Lewis. That was a well-designed play by head coach David Greer. He's in his 21st year, and the lead is now 5 for Michigan. Avery Lewis will be going to the line.
Nunez, up and down start for him. Had that sloppy play on the out of bounds and a foul there, but also hit the 3. So as long as this guy can have some consistent output for this team, he'll find his way in the rotation.
62% from the line last year was Lewis for the Wayne State Warriors. Michigan leads 15-10 with 11:33 to go. The free throw is good. It's now a 4-point spread for Michigan lead.
It's a packed house here, and the Wayne State student section is letting the Wolverines hear it. This is getting pretty loud here.
But you like to see that too, because Michigan's exhibition games are always at home. This is the first time the Wolverines have ever gone on the road to play an exhibition game. They're leading it by 4 with 12:30 on the clock. Houston has it, pick and roll, Diabate inside. Wanted to go to the corner to Nunez, couldn't do it. Now with a quick dribble, goes around his defender, scoops and scores. Michigan leads by 6 with 11:15 to go. Warriors have the basketball. It's Ray Williams Jr. Gives a screen to Neely, who's been in almost the whole game for Wayne State so far. Left-handed dribbler. Goes around Buffkin. A layup. No good. Good defense by Diabate. He grabs the rebound. Now it's lost on the floor. Kobe Buffkin picks it up. Over to Houston. All the way in the Michigan offensive zone. The pass inside of the paint is intercepted. Owens White has it. Going the other way. Into Buffkin. Off the glass and good.
It's too indecisive there by Buffkin. You got to sell out and take the charge, or you got to try to contest the shot. You can't switch up your mind both ways, because you're going to get called for the block every single time.
And Buffkin's going to be the guilty party of that foul. It was a Euro step by Owens White. He went with the left foot right foot across the body of Buffkin, and then came back with the left, and he got the foul and won. 17-13 is the Michigan lead with 10:49 to go here in the first half.
Number 14,
Darian Owens-White, we talked about him in the pregame as the free throw's good.
Free throw makes
He averaged 18 points a game last season, the team leader. And the redshirt senior returns and a hometown kid here in Detroit. 17-14 is the Michigan advantage. Eli Brooks checks back into the game. He has the basketball. Michigan moves left to right. Terrence Williams, a three. It's good. And that's something that you like to see from T-Will, knocking down a three from the far sideline.
All offseason, they raved about this guy's three-point jump shot and the improvements. So
8% from three last season. That's a big advantage now for Michigan to have him shooting a three. A jump shot is no good from Williams Jr. Michigan's got the basketball left to right. Brooks, corner three. Williams again. No good. Off the back iron. Rebound goes to Robinson. Couple dribbles with the right, now goes to the left, gives off to Owens-White. Shifty into the lane. Traveling violation called against him. He was trying to go against Buffkin, who's provided some good defense regardless of that one offensive foul, or defensive foul that is.
yeah, Buffkin's going to be a huge player for the Wolverines. Not a lot of guard depth, or at least right now with Zeb and Frankie out, so he's going to be an impact player right off the bat. They're going to need him to perform.
Well, we saw Eli Brooks in a walking boot prior to the season. Apparently it was just precautionary for Michigan. But he now has the basketball, looking for the pick and roll. The Diabate drives the lane. Right-handed floater is no good, but the rebound's going to go to Diabate. That's well-deserved. Back out to the top of the key. Nunez, a step-back three-point try is no good. It was nowhere near the rim. Rebound almost goes to Diabate, instead grabbed by Williams. Under 10 minutes here, 20-14 is the Michigan lead. Neely with the basketball, driving against Buffkin, doing everything he can to get around him. Ball's inside, lost by Hughes, going up, but the reversal is Augustine. It's no good. Offensive rebound to Williams, and the shot's good. Timeout Michigan. A full timeout by Jawan Howard. And Wayne State now trails by 4, 20-16, with 9:25 to go in the first half.
Wayne State not going away. I mean, coming into this match as heavy underdogs. That doesn't matter when you're when you're here on the court. The only thing matters is how hard you play, and they want it more right now, and you can see that by the surplus of offensive rebounds they've had.
Well, the offseason for Wayne State, they lost 5 players to graduation from last year's championship team. They did bring 2 freshmen in for the 2021-2022 campaign, and that's Johnson and Hughes. But they also recruited 2 transfers for this team. That's Tyree Martin from Western Missouri and Travion Martin from the University of Illinois, Chicago. However, he's sitting out the season due to transfer rules. But we've seen it so far. Wayne State has a lot of talent, and that's probably why they won the GLIAC Conference last season.
Yeah, they can score the ball, and they're relentless. They're not scared to shoot. They've maybe some bad shots that you consider, step backs over contested defenders, but I mean, if they can hit those, you take them. You see that in basketball now. It's a much more common shot. You think, oh, that's an awful shot when they do the James Harden step back, but I mean, this generation, they can score.
And Wayne State's offense has been pretty clear that it's been running through Braylon Neely. And he's 1 for 5 for playing and shooting the basketball, but the offense has been running through him. And when he has the ball in his hands, good things have been happening for the Warriors.
Yeah, it's your immediate reaction to see the 1 of 5 and say, oh, he's not playing so well. But that's not how it is here. He's controlling the pace. He's running the offense. He's getting good looks inside for Wayne State.
The media timeout is over after Jawan Howard's first full timeout for the Wolverines. Buffkin, Nunez, Williams, Diabate, and Brooks for Michigan as Dickinson comes over to the scorer's table, got an extended breath. Neely trying to get cookies away from Buffkin. Brooks now has it at the far wing, gets a good screen from Diabate, looking for the pick and roll, can't get there. Now at the post is Diabate. Gets around his man at the post, turns, scoops and does not score. Came close to getting in there. He hit his elbow hard on the ground here on the wood at the Wayne State University Fieldhouse, where there's a foul under the basket.
Wayne State foul on number 23.
The Wayne State fans don't like that call, but he earned that. He hit the floor hard, and he's not giving up on any plays. That guy just wants it more out there.
Michigan now in the bonus. That foul went against Ray Williams Jr. Musa Diabate to shoot free throws for the Wolverines. First one is good. Michigan leads 21-16 with 9:04 to go here in the first half. Zach Linfield here with Albert Kaskel, giving you WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan basketball for the exhibition game here in Detroit, Michigan. The second free throw for Diabate. A couple rolls in and out. Finds its way into the bottom of the basket. And Michigan will make a couple substitutions. Diabate out, Nunez out, Dickinson and Jones will join the Wolverines on the floor.
A little bit of a rough start for the Wolverines, but I think you can expect them to start to pull away sometime soon in this one.
Wayne State's got the basketball. It's Neely, passes the midcourt stripe, gives way to Robinson. Now Owens-White. Neely and Owens-White have been the surplus athletes for the Warriors so far. A screen from David Hughes. Owens-White, a shot right in the face of Dickinson. It's no good. Offensive board for the Warriors. A three-point try for Owens-White is no good. Michigan trying to battle to get the ball, and Brooks finally tears it away from David Hughes. Michigan's got the basketball, moving from left to right. Brooks to Williams. Gives it back to number 55, the professor. Eli Brooks with the basketball. Between the legs, dribble around Neely. Gets a screen from Dickinson. Looks at a three-point try. It's no good off the front of the rim. Rebound for Hughes. Over to Neely. Drives the lane. He works against Jones. Now gives the ball to Robinson, defended by Williams. A left-handed dribble, now between the legs. Looking down, Williams. Steps back for a three. It's no good. In and out. Bufkin gets up high for the rebound. Jones trying to spread the floor. Brooks in the near corner. Gives it to Dickinson. He now gives away to Jones. Driving the lane. Far corner. Kobe Bufkin for three. It's in and out. Dickinson wails at the ball. Doesn't get it. Robinson now has it for the Warriors. Michigan leads by 6. 7:45 on the clock in the first half.
Wolverines cannot get a three to fall right now.
Owens-White back to Neely. He'll take that deep shot if he wants it. He will. Looks at Williams. Takes a shot off the front of the rim. Almost another offensive rebound. Michigan trying to tear it away. They do. Devontae Jones has it, and he'll get a foul on Owens-White. And Michigan is in the bonus. They'll go to the free throw line and shoot 1 and 1.
The Wolverines should, I think they should start to try to get Devontae Jones a little bit more involved on offense. I mean, we know what he's capable of. He averaged around, I believe, 18 points last season. 19
last year at
points.
Coastal.
So, I mean, he's a guy who can score the basketball. And obviously, they have a ton of options here, but I think you should let the senior with experience try to run the offense a little bit more.
Devontae Jones will step to the free throw line to shoot 1 and 1. Last season in the Chanticleers uniform, shot 86% from the stripe. Michigan leads 22-16, 7:29 to go in the first half. First shot for Jones is no good. Rebound to the Warriors. Michigan had no offenders in the paint. Johns Jr. now comes back to the scorer's table. He's been the spark for the Wolverines in the first 4 minutes, and then he ended up coming out with an ankle injury. Looks like he's back and fine now. Robinson drives the lane on Bufkin, trying to get inside the lane. That's an offensive foul. It'll go for the Wolverines the other way.
You're already seeing the impact of Devontae Jones on defense. It's the third play I can recall where he's just been an impact player on the defensive side of the ball. And also, very impressed with the play of Kobe Bufkin on defense. He's not letting anyone get by him easily, using his athleticism as an advantage.
And Brandon Johns Jr. officially into the ball game. Inbound pass to Devontae Jones over to Bufkin. Top of the key back to Johns. He gives on the reversal to Jones. Near post, Dickinson. Right-handed shot is good. That's one thing we saw last year. He couldn't use his right hand very well, and he really depended on the left. He goes to the right hand there to give Michigan an 8-point lead.
It's immediate showing sign of his improvement on the offseason.
Warriors have the ball. Shot into the post. It's no good. Knocked away, but there's a foul called. Williams Jr. will be going to the line. The foul goes against Eli Brooks.
Michigan foul on number 55.
If Hunter can get that right hand going around the rim, with his size, his athleticism, and his touch, he's truly unstoppable as a center. College basketball, and will bode well as an NBA player too.
Michigan leading 24-16. The first shot by Williams Jr. at the stripe is no good. 6:46 to go in the first half. Next Wayne State foul will put Michigan in the double bonus. Michigan only has 4 fouls against them, Wayne State 9. Second shot by Williams is good. It's a pretty packed Wayne State student section to our left. Michigan will be going into that direction in the second half. Johns looks down his defender, that's Williams. Jones into the post, the far post to Dickinson, a nice spin. He goes with the left hand this time, there it is. Michigan's got another 2 points courtesy of Hunter Dickinson. It's their largest lead, 26-17 for the Wolverines.
It's good to see Hunter Dickinson start get going and late in this first half.
Caleb Houston to the scorer's table. He'll check in at the next timeout. Owens-White has it for Wayne State. defended by Brooks. A step-back three-point try is no good off the front of the rim. Buffkin, another rebound. Buffkin's got it, dribbling with the left and right hands. Favoring that left. Buffkin now backs it out after the screen from Dickinson. Jones near corner to Johns. Johns trying to get it to the post. There's a foul. And it's going to stay at the near end for the Wolverines. They'll go to the free throw line. It'll be Dickinson to shoot 2. Michigan finally enters that double bonus.
Juwan knows the mismatch the Wolverines have at center in this game, and he's screaming from the sideline saying, post up, Hunter, post up, because he wants Hunter to eat in this matchup and get him going into the season.
And Hunter Dickinson had such a big impact for the Wolverines last season, albeit only averaging 14 points a game. And the big lefty's first free throw is no good off the left side of the rim. Michigan checks in Caleb Houston for Kobe Buffkin. Into the game for the Warriors is Nate Talbot.
Wolverines back to the starting lineup. Let's see how they can close off this half with the last 6 minutes to go.
Michigan leading by 9, 5:57 to go in the first half. The second free throw by Dickinson is pure. Michigan leads by 10. Neely's got it, defended by Brooks. Left-handed dribble, left-handed pass over to Williams. Williams to Robinson. Working outside the three-point arc, back to the top of the key. A crossover dribble, trying to get in Houston's head. Shoots it, fires, it's good. That's a wonderful shot by Mike Robinson, and it's an 8-point lead for the Wolverines, 27-19. Michigan's got the ball. Jones defended by Owens-White. Drives with the left hand. A nice dish to Dickinson. It's an and one. You can count that one. Michigan has a 10-point lead. A beautiful pass by Devontae Jones for the Michigan end of the court.
Great pass and even a better finish by Hunter there. And he'll go to the line to try to convert this and one opportunity.
Avery Lewis back into the game for Wayne State. And last season's Big Ten Freshman of the Year. We'll try to make it a three-point play. The shot is good. Michigan now has an 11-point lead, 30-19 with 5:27 to go here in the first half. Braylon Neely has the ball. The 5'10", fifth-year senior for the Warriors. Works around a screen against Jones. Puts up a shot. It was well defended by Dickinson. He lost the ball, but now Jones grabs it. And Michigan will go back on offense. Juwan Howard urging his team to go quickly into the front court. Jones gets bumped. Now drives the lane. Left hand, no good. But it's knocked away, and it'll go to Wayne State. Now the referees will come together for a conversation, and the ball will remain at this end for Michigan. It looked pretty clearly off Wayne State.
Yeah.
So Michigan will get the call.
I need to get the refs some contacts here.
Michigan leads by 11, 5 minutes to go. Houston to Brooks. Brooks drives the lane, looks inside. What a pass to Dickinson, who crams it through with two hands. The rim shakes on that one. Michigan has a 13-point advantage.
These feeds from the guards have just been absolutely outstanding, getting Hunter Dickinson easy buckets at the rim.
Wayne State's got the basketball. Neely on a dish from Williams. Puts up a shot with the left hand. It's no good. Houston battling for the rebound. He's got it. Here's Brooks. To Jones. Driving. Left-handed scoop and score. And there's a timeout by Wayne State. Michigan on a big run. It's a 15-point lead, 34-19, with 4:31 to go here in the first half.
Juwan got the starting lineup back in the game, and the lineup said, you know what, enough with this 4-point, 6-point lead stuff. Let's get this game up to double digits and let's keep it there. And they've been relentless on defense and in transition, which Juwan's been calling for. Just looks fantastic.
Michigan has gotten a lot of players involved so far. The only players we haven't seen are Jaron Folds, Will Cheddar, Jace Howard, Ian Burns, which are a couple freshmen and walk-ons, Isaiah Barnes, Brandon Wade. But Michigan has two guys that are injured right now. That's Zeb Jackson and Frankie Collins. But like we said pregame, it's incredible to see these guys, these young guys, getting involved early, getting some experience for the regular season, which is 5 short days away at the Chrysler Center against the University of Buffalo.
The Wolverines have an unbelievable amount of depth, but as of right now, you don't know who's going to be the guy off the bench or the Shawnee Brown of this team. Some guy you can trust every single game to come in and give you impact minutes. So, I mean, out of these guys, some guys will fall through, and some are going to step up and become those big-time players. And it will take some time to figure out. Juwan's going to play around with the rotation a little bit, but it's what these games are very helpful for.
After Wayne State went on a 5-point run, which has been their biggest of the day. Michigan countered, and with a 34-19 lead with 4:30 to go in the first half, it hasn't necessarily been the starting five exactly that's provided that big-time spark. We saw Brandon Johns knock down a couple of shots, and he's been driving to the lane really well. Now Diabate Jones has gotten that chip on his shoulder. He's driving the lane, providing some good dishes to Hunter Dickinson, and had a scoop and score of his own.
A lot of offense for the Wolverines is going to come from the guards driving left, driving right, pick and roll game, and finding the center down low, and Dickinson, or if it's Diabate in a small ball lineup. But it's going to be a huge production for the Wolverines there.
Play resumes with Wayne State moving the ball right to left. Michigan leads by 15, under 4:30 to go in the first half. Neely with the ball. Gives it to Ray Williams Jr., who tries outside the three-point arc with the left hand, now gives way to Neely. Back to Talbot. He won't shoot that three-pointer, but Robinson will on the far corner. It's no good. Rebound goes to Brandon Johns. Brooks across the midcourt logo, drives at the right hand. Tries to get it to the near post of Dickinson, but is stolen away by Talbot. Brooks was a little careless with the basketball at the post. Neely to Robinson. Robinson drives in on Jones. It's taken away, though. Jones got behind him. Dickinson officially steals it. Houston inside. Brooks, he traveled with it.
Those are back-to-back possessions, turnovers from Eli Brooks, and you probably won't hear that again the rest of the season. But it's an exhibition game. It's the first game of the year, so Wolverine fans, you can let it pass this time.
Wayne State's got the basketball. That's Neely. And they're all gray uniforms, defended by Michigan's Diabate Jones in the all-navy blue with the block M on the short. Neely gives way to Williams, who gets a screen, now defended by Dickinson. That's a bad matchup for the Wolverines, but it's taken away by Diabate Jones. Jones drives inside the lane, but the right hand is no good. Johns with the offensive rebound, goes up, not a foul call. He gets his own board. Johns over to Dickinson, and there's a foul call.
Great D there from Wayne State, but the Wolverines' size, it's just too much for them right now.
The foul goes against Nate Talbot. And Dickinson will go to the line. This is his third appearance at the charity stripe for the Wolverines. Eli Brooks working the official on the far sideline on the travel call, and Dickinson knocks down the first. It's a 16-point lead, 35-19 for Michigan, 3:17 to go in the first half. Dickinson, two dribbles with the left hand, now fires with the left, and it's good. Michigan leads by 17 points here at the Wayne State University Fieldhouse in Detroit. Neely gives the ball to Robinson, who tries to fake out Brooks, not successful. Gives the ball to Lewis. He went to the bench after providing a spark for the Warriors. Trying to get around Dickinson. That's a hard thing to do at 7'1". Trying to work around now. Gives the ball back out to Neely outside the three-point arc, defended by Jones. He gets a screen from Talbot. Now driving in on Dickinson. That's a big left-handed shot. It's no good, but the tip-in's going to go for Talbot. And there's going to be a foul call against Talbot, so the basket will be no good. He went right over the head of Eli Brooks, tried to knock the ball in, and it won't count.
Talbot
so
is
not an offensive foul. Michigan will get two shots at the far end.
Talbot is playing very hard out there, and he's getting super animated about these calls on back-to-back possessions, but you love to see that effort from a guy like that coming off the bench.
He is the tallest athlete on Wayne State, 6'10". Diabate Jones will head to the stripe to shoot two. After winning Sun Belt Player of the Year, averaging 19 points, his first free throw is good. 37-19, Michigan advantage. And he led the Chanticleers last season in points, assists, steals, and minutes played. He was a do-it-all guy for Coastal Carolina. He also dipped his toes into NBA waters as his second free throw was good, decided to return to college basketball, and that was after he had to transfer to Michigan. So a crossover dribble by Neely at the near end. Almost crosses over Jones. Talbot in the post, defended by Dickinson. Juwan Howard playing defense on us in our view. Rebound goes to Jones. Kicks it to Houston. He drives the lane. Houston with the right hand. The layup is good. Michigan now leads by 21, 40-19, 2:25 to go in the first half. Neely's got the ball. Gives to Lewis. He'll try a three. The left-hander shot is no good off the rim. Houston had it, but the ball was deflected, goes out of bounds. And it looks like it'll stay with Wayne State.
You look at Houston, you might ask, this guy was a top 10 guy in the class when you just look at his athleticism, but he's a sneaky athlete, and the highest outed shooter in the class, along with his size. It's a recipe for success.
Neely inbounds to Williams. He goes up with a jump shot, no good. Dickinson hangs out in the air, grabs the basketball with the left hand over to Jones. Jones passes the midcourt logo, defended by Neely. Jones wearing number 12 in the maze. Gives over to Brooks for three. It's good. That's a quick catch and shoot for Eli Brooks. He became known for that last season, and it's good again. Michigan leads 43-19, 1:55 to go.
Wolverines have found the rhythm on both sides of the ball, absolutely smothering Wayne State on defense and starting to hit their shots on offense.
Braylon Neely's got the ball, gets a double screen from Talbot and Lewis. He now dribbles with the right hand, trying to go around Johns. Michigan with a couple of substitutions coming. Javante Jones picks the pocket of the offender. Houston, showtime for the Wolverines! Houston dumps it through with two hands. Michigan now leads it 45-19.
What a run from the Wolverines.
Williams over to Robinson with the left hand. He'll step back, that's a two, and it's airballed. Michigan, a couple of substitutions. Nice to see a couple more freshmen getting into the game. That's Isaiah Barnes and Will Cheddar. Another substitution. This time it's for Wayne State. L.J. DeWolf, his first action.
If you know anything about Chicago basketball, you know there's a lot of pros that come out of Simeon, and hopefully for Michigan
you say
fans.
Chicago?
Yeah, and hopefully for.
You're a baller, though. You're from Chicago.
I'm not necessarily a baller, but I am from Chicago, and
no, Windy City,
I do know Derrick Rose went to the same high school as Isaiah Barnes, so hopefully he's Derrick Rose 2.0.
Jones drives the lane against his defender, looking to the corner for Cheddar. Barnes, nice reversal to Johns for three. It's good. Under a minute to go in the first half. Michigan leads 48-19. What an explosion by the Maize and Blue in the last 10 minutes of this half.
This is starting to remind me of the Wisconsin game last year where the Wolverines went on a 43-6 run.
Absolutely. Neely, defended by Cheddar. Stepping back, doing anything he can, and Houston steals the ball away, floats it back in. Barnes has it. Neely finally grabs it in the backcourt for the Warriors. Over to DeWolf. DeWolf inside the lane, that's Talbot. And that'll be a block foul against Cheddar. He had good position under the basket, but he was in the restricted area. And that'll be the foul call against Will Cheddar. Talbot will go to the line with 28 seconds in the half. Michigan leads 48-19.
You can already tell that Caleb Houston's going to be a special player for this team this year. I mean, we lose a guy like Franz Wagner on defense. You need someone to step up and be that guy. And it looks like he might not meet that role, or fill it and be as well as Franz was on defense. But he can hold his own on defense with that length and athleticism. It's going to be a problem for opposing teams.
Michigan's had success so far, especially with a couple men on the floor. And we'll start right there. Brandon Johns Jr. has 7 points. Caleb Houston has 5. But an awakening, you don't want to wake up the giant. Hunter Dickinson has had a lot of success for the Wolverines. And there's another foul call beneath the basket against Will Cheddar. And the referees came together and concurred at first after that blocking foul on Cheddar. They decided it was no shooting foul. On the floor for the Wolverines, Barnes, Houston, Cheddar, Johns, and Jones.
Not the most illustrious start for Will Cheddar's career as a Michigan Wolverine.
Now the referee will come over to the scorer's table to discuss how many fouls are on the Wolverines. That was foul number 6. David Greer arguing with the referees. How is that blocking foul not a shooting foul? I don't know.
I don't either.
Well, Wayne State will inbound. It's Neely. He looks to the midcourt logo for Lewis. It goes into the backcourt where he'll retrieve it. He'll be defended by Cheddar. Cheddar sporting a navy blue headband and the goggles. Plays good defense. Where's number 42? Underneath, a good pass. Scoop and score is up by Ray Williams Jr. That finally breaks the scoring drought for the Warriors. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Wolverines, or the play clock that is. Jones has it with the right hand, down to 5. Looking at Houston, he drives, goes inside. It's stolen away. DeWolf has it, looks in the front court for Neely. The shot will not be taken. He thought he had more time than he did. The first half ends. Michigan on a fantastic note, although the Warriors get a quick jab in at the last second. Michigan leads 48-21 heading into halftime here at the Wayne State University Fieldhouse, giving the Warriors a not-so-welcome to your new home.
I would say in terms of this matchup, I'd say Wayne State actually had the advantage in the first 10 minutes with this talent discrepancy, but I mean, you lose 10 minutes to Michigan in this matchup, it gets ugly really quick. So you saw that here. They're holding in down about 6 points, but once the Wolverines got going, it's been a bloodbath since.
And Michigan, at first, they started slow, especially on the offensive end, but then they ended up picking it up, and we'll have stats for you here in a couple minutes. However, it was a slow start. Defense looked good, but a couple of three-point shots by Wayne State got them the lead early, and the Warriors ended up falling behind once Michigan's chemistry really started to pick up, and that'll be so important throughout the season. Non-conference schedule is a little slim for Michigan. The only game that you really look at home is really Seton Hall or San Diego State. Now, you don't want to overlook any opponent on the schedule, but then you look at that one matchup in Chapel Hill against North Carolina in the Big Ten ACC Challenge, and you're like, that's the game. That'll be probably the one ranked game that the Wolverines will have. Maybe SDSU will make an appearance like they usually do, but North Carolina is that one big ranked team on the schedule for Michigan in the non-conference. How do you feel these tune-ups will get them ready for that game against the Tar Heels?
I think the Wolverines will be well prepared. They have a decent amount of games before that, and the best player on UNC is Armando Bakett, who, unfortunately for their sake, is going to be going against potentially the best center in the Big Ten, maybe outside of Kofi Coburn. But
Travion Williams is up there too.
Yes, maybe Trace Jackson Davis. All right, so a lot of good bigs in the Big Ten, but he'll be going against one of the best bigs in the country then, and. If they could take out Bakett out of that game, I don't see it being too big of a problem for the Wolverines.
Michigan on their end of things, well, it's looking like a pretty good day for number one. He's got 12 points in the first half. Hunter Dickinson, 12 points, 6 boards, all on the defensive end. And he also got to the free throw line, which is going to be important for Michigan this year. He got to the free throw line plenty of times last season, but he's 4 for 5 at the stripe, which is impressive. He shot 74% from the line last season, which, I mean, you look at 4 for 5, that's 80%. He's right there in the first half. But Devontae Jones has 4, Caleb Houston has 8, Brandon John 6, Eli Brooks 6, Musa Diabate has 6, Williams with 3, and Adrian Nunez with 3 as well. So it's not just one guy. You know, Dickinson's leading the charge, but it's not just one guy getting it done for Michigan.
Hey, you can already see that this team is at least 10 deep. I mean, sure, some players will dud on some nights, but if you have 7 guys going on a night with this talent, I mean, the sky's the limit. If you have guys like Kobe Buffkin off the bench, who I wouldn't be surprised if he leads the Wolverines in scoring some games this year. Some guys off the bench that have that microwave ability to get hot super quick and almost be unguardable. If that's off the bench, it's honestly a cheat code.
For Wayne State, Darian Owens-White is leading the scoring with 6. And Williams is second in that group with 5, but then a couple other spread amongst the Warriors. Neely has 3, Lewis has 3, Robinson with 2, and Talbot with 2. It seemed like they were going to give Michigan a run for their money, at least in the first half, in those first 10 minutes, but they kind of fell off. So from an opposing point of view for Wayne State, what do they have to do better to face off against the Wolverines in the second half? And that's a tough task.
Yes, it is. I would say they're forcing shots pretty early in the shot clock right now, which is understandable. You're down 20+, but it's an exhibition game. You want to run your sets. You want to work your offense. And I think they're settling too much for contested jump shots, which with size like this, when you're going against forwards who are 6'8+, they're just not going to fall. If you have an extended Hunter Dickinson over you and you're taking a step-back 18-footer, I'll tell you right now, it's not going to go in. So those are shots you can't be taking, maybe if it's end of shot clock, but outside of that, I'd keep fighting, play scrappy, try to get the extra ball, and maybe cut the lead down a little bit.
And what's probably most impressive for Michigan is they're holding Wayne State to only 20% shooting, and there have been a couple of ill-advised shots that I'm sure Coach David Greer wouldn't necessarily recommend for Wayne State, but it's at the hand of the Michigan defense who's been holding them to those shots. Michigan themselves is shooting 50%, and they're also 50% from three-point land, and it didn't really seem like that for Michigan. They're also out-rebounding the Warriors on the defensive end, 23-11. But the one thing I'd certainly say that the Wolverines have to work on is limiting the Warriors and the opposing team's offensive rebounds. The Warriors had 8 in the first half. That can't happen, especially when you get to Big Ten play.
Yeah, those offensive rebounds will start turning into buckets against better opponents. And sure, it's fine if you give up offensive rebounds and they're shooting 20% from the field, but if you're giving that up to, let's say, a team like Illinois, they're going to convert. And I mean, 8.5, if you're saying 15, 16 over a game, it's pretty tough to win like that.
Reminder that the score right now is currently Michigan 48, Wayne State 21. It's Zach Linfield here alongside Albert Kaskel, and well, nice to say that it's been nice broadcasting with you so far in the first half. Through WCBN, our assignments are switched up all the time, and we don't usually get to broadcast with the same guy, but how's it feel? This is your first time in a basketball booth for men's basketball. It's got to feel good.
It is fun. I've called a hockey game, I've called a soccer game, I've called a women's basketball game, but I'd say this is the most enjoyable experience I've had yet. No shade thrown towards any previous commentators, but it's been fun here. It's a great stadium, great atmosphere. We've got fantastic seats, and I mean, all the talk in Ann Arbor is about this Michigan basketball team, so
yeah,
it's cool to see them play in person
right now, and that's for sure.
Yes.
We're going to have a performance by Spider Turner here at the Wayne State University Fieldhouse, and I'll tell you what, we talked about it in the pregame. This facility is beautiful. We have a massive scoreboard to our right, and this is also the home of the Motor City Cruise. $25 million was put into this facility. We look to our left, there's a massive Wayne State University student section, and of course they don't play any kind of role like the Maze Rage does back in home in Ann Arbor, which I maybe do or do not actually run that student section, so props to my own group too. But the Michigan faithful are here, and they're showing that they're here to support this team. And I'll tell you what, I was at the round of 64, the round of 32. I was at the Sweet 16 game last season in Indy, and it was an awesome experience. And Michigan fans, they're going to want to come out and see this game. To all of our listeners, you guys got to come out and see this team play because they're the real deal. And yeah, they're playing Wayne State right now, and they're up by 27. But they also won their conference last year in Division II. But this is a good exhibition game team. And other teams, notably Illinois, had a hard time facing off against a Division III opponent.
They're going to enjoy all the basketball they can. The Michigan faithful will always show. And to comment on your experience last year, I was also in Indianapolis for the Elite Eight game, which unfortunately, for the Wolverines' sake, they lost. But, I mean, you can hear in the stadium there was Go Blue chants nonstop. It almost felt like it was in Ann Arbor, which is just, it's crazy. These fans know that this era of Michigan basketball it's can't miss.
And I mean, as we can see the comments of the YouTube, it's awesome to hear that Michigan hockey is currently leading at the Maze Out back in Ann Arbor. The children of Yost, I'm sure, are rocking 2-0 lead for the Wolverines over the Spartans. And I'd say that's nice to hear after last weekend's football loss, which I don't really want to talk about. I was on the call for that game. I called that final play. And it's nice to see that Michigan football is going to be moving on. So, Indiana tomorrow night, catch WCBN on the call at the same YouTube channel. But currently 2-0 Michigan hockey, doing a wonderful job. But we're worried about the basketball team right now. 27-point lead, 48-21 over the Wayne State Warriors here at the new field house. There's a collection of guys for Michigan. What kind of combinations do you see working all that well so far for Michigan? Is it Jones and Dickinson? Is it Houston and Brooks? They've connected a couple times for three-point shots. What do you think?
I would say we haven't seen much of it, but I would still say I'm most excited to see the Musa, Diabate, and Hunter Dickinson combination because Musa has shown in practice in his high school career at IMG that he can shoot from outside, he can stretch the floor, and you have two guys. You got one guy at 7'1", 260. And you've got another at 6'11", 210 with both insane athleticism and touch around the rim. It's a combination that's truly deadly. I mean, all these other teams in the Big Ten, Indiana's got Trace Jackson Davis, Purdue's got Travion Williams, Illinois' got Kofi Coburn, but I don't think any of those teams have a guy of the likes of Musa Diabate to complement them. And I think it will take Hunter's game to the next level.
Oh, absolutely. And this is the biggest recruiting class they've had in quite some time. And you look at Musa Diabate, a five-star, number 11 prospect in the country, a McDonald's All-American according to ESPN. You look at another guy, that's Caleb Houston, a five-star, the number 6 prospect in the country, and the highest-rated Michigan recruit since Glenn Robinson III in 2012. He was ranked number 18, so Michigan didn't get one guy. They got 2 guys that rank higher than Glenn Robinson III according to ESPN.
If they can live up to the Glenn Robinson hype and how he performed at Michigan, they have a very good chance to be similar to those 2013 Michigan basketball teams. And Glenn Robinson III, won a dunk contest in the NBA. He's shown some success, so hopefully for their sake, they've got a lot of success on the other side for them.
And Michigan also brings in freshmen Kobe Buffkin, Frankie Collins, Isaiah Barnes. Ian Burns is going to be a walk-on, but hopefully he'll play that role of Luke Wilson the last couple of years, who was a scout team All-American for him, and Will Cheddar. And they're all going to have roles on this basketball team, and I'm excited to see what they're going to be. But obviously right now it's looking like Diabate and Houston are going to be the two guys for the Wolverines moving forward that'll have the biggest role for the freshmen.
The John Beeline days of getting a low-end 4-star, maybe high 3-star, and developing them over 2 years and showing their talents junior and senior year is completely over for Michigan basketball. And not that it wasn't a great era, but a guy like, let's say Frankie Collins would likely be the best recruit in the John Beeline class, which is not a bad thing, but there's no waiting to see.
Still the number 36 prospect in the country.
There's no waiting to see the talent on display here. I mean, you're going to see it instantly. You're going to see all these freshmen playing, showcasing their talent because they've got it. They're ready to go. They're 18 years old. They'll make some silly mistakes, but they're more than ready to perform at the college level.
And, I mean, this team is so loaded. You talked about it earlier, that it's the best problem to have, and that's the depth. And their depth is fantastic, and we have to look at the negative side of things, and that's that they lost a lot. I mean, a lot of real good talent. Isaiah Livers, Franz Wagner, Mike Smith, John D. Brown, Austin Davis. They lost a couple of scout team guys that you wish that they would have still, but they saw 4 players go to the NBA. Austin Davis, the only guy not in that group. And as we take a look at him, Isaiah Livers, the draft, landed with the Pistons. Franz Wagner, draft, landed with the Magic. Mike Smith, he graduated. John D. Brown also graduated as undrafted free agents. Mike Smith was signed by Milwaukee. He was then dropped, but he found his way to the G League for the Miami Heat at the Sioux Falls Skyforce. And John D. Brown is also in the G League for the Lakers. He's with the South Bay Lakers. And Austin Davis, well, he said, don't forget about me. I'm in the Polish Basketball League. So big country still making his money out in Poland. But with the loss of all this group, how do you think Juwan Howard has had to tweak this team to get ready for the season with all this new incoming talent?
I would say you're obviously not losing, like, the net talent discrepancies. It's not noticeable. You're probably gaining talent, but the experience you lose, and that's why you went and got out a guy like Devontae Jones, someone who's played in big games, 4th-year senior, knows what he's doing, can slow the pace, control the game. And when you got two very mature, smart guards like Devontae and Eli Brooks, that is unbelievably helpful for guys like Frankie Collins, Kobe Buffkin, Seb Jackson, guards that are young, still developing, but they have role models. They're going to learn what it takes. I mean, Eli Brooks has played in a Final Four, a national championship game for Michigan in 2018. So they have the experience to cover up for that. You obviously can't immediately replace a guy like Franz Wagner, but there's not many guys that are guys you could bring in better than Caleb Houston. So it's the best it's going to get. And Brandon Johns showed in March last year that he can fill that Isaiah Livers role pretty well. He doesn't have the outside shooting, but the defense and athleticism compensates for that.
And if anyone's interested in tuning into the second half and watching the Wolverines play, you can head to the Wayne State University Athletics website, where the stream is $5 to watch them play. But I mean, why would you want to leave us? Second half action coming up. Michigan leads 48-21 over the Warriors of Wayne State. And we take a look back at last season, Michigan 23-5, and man, am I bummed out we couldn't be there to watch the team play with COVID-19 hitting the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, and the rest of the world. They finished 14-3 in Big Ten play, and they won the regular season Big Ten championship. They'll be raising a banner next Wednesday, and that'll be a lot of fun. So Michigan and Buffalo, that'll be next Wednesday at 6 p.m. You can catch coverage live on WCBN. But they went 5-0 in the regular season non-conference last year. One game got canceled due to COVID-19, and that was kind of the spotlight game of the non-conference, and that was against NC State. So how do you see them navigating their way through the non-conference schedule early, especially? They don't have really big opponents until North Carolina.
It might sound crazy, but as a Michigan fan, I would expect 12-0 in the non-con schedule. The only threat to me is North Carolina on the road, which I still think Michigan will have a pretty decent advantage over them. North Carolina's good, but no more Roy Williams. They're going the Juwan Howard route with Hubert Davis, right? The new head coach.
Say that again.
For North Carolina's new head coach, Hubert Davis, right?
Yep.
We'll see. It's a change in the program. I think Michigan's experience will be able to come in. I think they win that game, and besides that, San Diego State at home. It's a tough matchup, but in the Chrysler Center with the Maze Rage going, I don't see it being too big of a problem for the Wolverines. Past that, though, I mean, the Wolverines are the favorite in the Big Ten, but it truly is a free-for-all. You got Purdue behind them with sophomore Jaden Ivey, who's going to be a star.
They also have Travion Williams,
yes.
too. He's a scary guy.
And then you got Illinois with Kofi staying, Curbelo back.
Trent Frazier.
Trent Frazier's back. I mean, those guys can score. And I mean, a lot of people said last year they were debatably better without Io. And unfortunately, Wolverine fans saw that at home. Which
well, we didn't get to see it at home. Maybe we were a little lucky we didn't get to see it at home.
Because that was probably the low of the season for Michigan. But that's a talented team. Ohio State's got E.J. Liddell returning, who's a legitimate Big Ten Player of the Year candidate. And, I mean, it's going to be a tough schedule. I wouldn't expect the same result as last year. As from a win total perspective, I could still see them winning the conference. But I would say maybe in the 23 win range, 20, 24, a little bit.
You'd like to
games.
say that, yeah.
Yeah. So Wolverine should remain a top 15 team in the country throughout the season and have a pretty decent season going into March, barring anything unexpected.
And the Wolverines had quite the big COVID-19 impact last season. 7 games postponed due to positive COVID-19 and contact tracing. I wanted to talk about a contract with Juwan Howard. However, contact tracing tests last season, Michigan had 7 games postponed, and that was when everyone was saying that Michigan was bailing out on the schedule. That was a conversation that Illinois had, and their athletic director said, hey, we deserve this regular season title because we played more games and we beat Michigan head-to-head. Michigan, at the end of the day, they're the one that gets to raise the banner next Wednesday that says regular season Big Ten champions on it. Illinois does get one of their own as they won the Big Ten tournament championship, but they were eventually bounced out in the round of 32 against Loyola Chicago, which Michigan beat in the Final Four a couple of years ago. However, Michigan this season brings the Coach of the Year and 4 players named to preseason watch award lists. This Michigan team is loaded. You've hit on it multiple times. And I'm going to ask you a question right now. I'm going to prompt you a question, and who's your underrated player of the year? Who ends up being that guy at the end of the season? Last year it was probably Mike Smith.
Are we talking starting lineup or some bench player that comes alive?
We're talking the whole roster.
I think it's Diabate Jones. I think he's got a chance to be a top 4, top 3 Big Ten point guard this year. And it might be the easy answer, but I really do think it is him. And I do think he'll be better than Mike Smith, as good as Mike Smith was for the offense. I think Diabate just adds more. Off the bench, I would say the unexpected guy, that sneaky, maybe impact player would be Zeb Jackson for me. He didn't play much last year, showed some good signs in the round of 64 game last year, but he's very talented. People will forget he's still a 4-star recruit. We'll probably need to make the change over to point guard a little bit more with the lack of depth there right now, but super talented, good finisher around the rim. I think Zeb could be the guy this year to really.
And you just have to love the direction that the team is going in, too, because there's a new sense of culture with Juwan Howard and that contract that he signed to be with the Wolverines. And you look further into the contract, you don't want to talk about years or money right now during a game, but Jace Howard's already on the team. Jet Howard just committed. You figure that Juwan's going to be here for at least throughout Jet's tenure as a Michigan Wolverine, which gives him 4 to 5 more years at least. I mean, you want to talk about a return to the NBA. I think he's going to stay right here and coach his kids for the first time. But you'd love to see that.
He'll have plenty of offers to be a head coach in the NBA, but, I mean, why would he not want to be in Michigan? He loves it here. Wolverine fans love him. He's building almost, you could say, dynasty in college basketball, and Michigan's on track to become a blue blood in college basketball. And I mean, I don't see why he'd want to leave. Obviously, as a head coach, your aspiration is to be an NBA head coach, but he's been in the NBA. He was an assistant coach. He played in the NBA. Maybe he likes it more here in college. So that's good. As long as Juwan's here, Michigan fans will be happy. And just to go back on the Illinois point, I would say that Illinois fans view Michigan as a rival. Michigan fans will never view Illinois as a rival. And they never have and never will, because you can't be rivals with a team that hasn't gone past the first weekend of March in my lifetime, at least. So
Well, going back to that Michigan culture, they hosted their first ever Michigan Madness, where students and fans, they flooded the Chrysler Center while watching the men's and women's basketball teams compete in a three-point contest, dunk contest, and a concert by G Herbo. I mean, a lot of people probably don't know who G Herbo is, but for the players, that's something big for them. And having an event like that got the Wolverines and their fans all sparked up and ready for the season, as we're finally set to go here for the second half. So thank you guys for tuning in to WCBN Sports Ann Arbor. Zach Linfield here with Albert Kaskel giving you guys second half coverage. Michigan leads 48-21 to begin this half. For the Wolverines, it's Johns, Brooks, Houston, Dickinson, and Jones. Neely, Lewis, Martin, Williams, and Owens-White for the Warriors. Here in Detroit, 10 seconds into the second half, they're moving the ball around. Neely's got it for the Warriors. He wears number 11 in the all-gray uniforms. Drives with his right hand. That's his offhand. It's stolen away by Jones. He led the Sun Belt in steals last season. Houston all the way down the court, goes up with the right hand, but it's blocked away. That's a good defensive play by Williams Jr. Juwan wants a call. Almost stolen again by Jones, but it's out of bounds. It'll go for Wayne State.
Juwan was not happy with a missed call on that last play.
Devontae Jones playing great defense already here in this half for the Wolverines. Neely's got it, a left-handed pass. That's Owens-White with it. Drives to the free throw line. He's defended by Brooks in the all-blue Michigan uniforms with the maize lettering. Neely now drives. It's a great pass inside. Martin trying to spin away from his defender, can't get away from him. Great defense by Dickinson, but Caleb Houston walked with it. He backpedaled trying to get away from a defender, but he wasn't there, and Houston just fell backwards, took a couple of extra steps, and Wayne State will have the basketball down 27.
You could just tell Caleb holds himself to a different standard. He misses a tough shot, and he's mad. He's shaking his head, and Howard's giving him the confidence that he needs, but, I mean, it's good to see a guy that holds himself to a very high standard.
Quick inbound to Neely. Reversal to the far corner. Williams Jr.'s got it, defended by Houston. Playing some great defense, now to the top of the key to Lewis. He's defended by Johns. He got him up in the air. He now drives the lane. Great defense by Dickinson, but it's an and one. He somehow got the scoop and score with his offhand to go. And Wayne State, who finished the first half on a good note with the two-point basket, gets 2 points to begin the second half.
It might be a tale of two halves for Avery Lewis. Started hot, but really cooled off down the end. And that will put him at 2 of 7 on the game. For his sake, hopefully he gets going. Great finish there.
Lewis's free throw is no good. Michigan leads by 25. The score is 48-23. Just over a minute into the second half. Jones slowly dribbling across the midcourt logo, gives way to Houston, who gives the reversal back to Jones at the Wayne State logo. Dickinson outside the three-point arc. Have yet to see him take a three-point try. And there's an offensive foul underneath the basket. And the foul will go against Brandon Johns Jr.
Sloppy start to both halves by the Wolverines, which is it's okay in this game, but that's the stuff that could lose you big games.
First foul against Brandon. Johns has 6 points in this contest. Neely's got the ball across the midcourt stripe for the Warriors. He gives way to Owens-White. Gets a couple of screens from Lewis inside the paint. Back to Lewis, and they're going to call Hunter Dickinson for his second goaltending violation of the game.
I don't know if that one was the right call. I think he might have gotten the ball before it hit the backboard there. Love to see a replay. Unfortunately, we do not have one.
Inbound pass for the Wolverines goes to Houston. He's currently parallel with Jones as he gives way to Devontae. A right-handed dribble to Dickinson just inside the three-point arc at the top of the key. A reversal pass to Houston, behind the back dribble. Drives inside the lane with the left hand, shot's no good, but there is a foul. It'll go against the Warriors. It's a foul on Ray Williams Jr.
Everyone raves about Houston's shooting, as they should, but, I mean, from what we've seen today, this guy just wants to get to the rim. He wants to finish. He's done with that modern basketball of Steph Curry shooting threes. This guy wants dunks. He wants tough finishes at the rim. It's good to see.
Houston, who split his first half free throw, is 1 for 2, is at the line now to shoot 2. First one's good. Michigan's first points of the second half. They lead it 49-25, 18:02 on the clock here at the Wayne State University Fieldhouse. Whereas number 22, a couple of spins with the right hand. The shot is up and it's good. He's now 3 for 4 on the afternoon. Michigan's hit the halfway mark to 100. And they've also doubled the score by Wayne State. It's 50-25 against the Warriors. Neely, who played seemingly the whole first half for Wayne State, dribbling against Diabate Jones. As a left-handed dribble, looks to the far corner. That's a three-point try for Williams, and it's in and out. Rebound goes to Johns. He hit the boards in the first half pretty hard. Jones now across the midcourt stripe. Dumps it inside. Dickinson, back out Johns. Three-point corner try for Brooks. He ends up not taking it. That's Johns now. Jones gives it to Dickinson. He stands there without a dribble. Wide open three-point try for Jones, and that one's good. Johns and Jones are playing flip-flop in the near corner with Hunter Dickinson on screens, and Jones ended up taking the shot. That's his first three-pointer to go in this game.
Multiple good looks there for the Wolverines, but they settle for the best one, and that was a wide-open three for Devontae Jones.
Owens-White's jumper is good. That's 2 points for the Warriors. 53-28 Michigan advantage. Jones brings it up the court for the Wolverines. Behind the back dribble, now gets a screen from Dickinson. He looks inside. That's Johns with the right hand, and that's up and in. Michigan wanted a foul, doesn't get it, but the bucket is good. Juwan Howard is really yelling for a foul. And Devontae Jones knocks the ball out of the hands of Neely, but it will stay with the Warriors. Michigan leads by 26 with 16:40 to go in the second half.
I can tell you right now, Wolverine fans are going to love Devontae Jones this season. He's going to be a fan favorite. I mean, this guy does not take possessions off.
Lewis gives way to Neely. Owens-White in the near corner gets a screen from Martin. A step-back shot right in the face of Brooks. It's no good. Brooks grabs the rebound. Eli to Jones, driving the lane. Number 12, up with the left hand. It's no good, but there is a foul call.
Jones looking to score a lot more in the second half here. Just what you want to see. You want to see him put the ball in the hoop, get some points going in the season. And I mean, he's showing the aggression. He's showing he could drive and finish. He could shoot from outside. He could do it all. He reminds me a lot, actually, of former Michigan guard Derek Walton Jr. A guy that's scrappy, plays hard, great defender for his size, and prides himself on rebounding. And it's no coincidence that Devontae had 7 rebounds last year as a point guard, which is a truly staggering number unless you're Russell Westbrook.
Jones scores his 8th point of the game on the first free throw attempt. Michigan leads 56-27, 16-17 to go in the second half. Taking his time, putting up the shot. Second one's no good, off the back of the rim. And the rebound goes to Williams Jr. for Wayne State. Warriors move quickly. Ball almost stolen away by Jones. And just as you said, Albert, he's not taking possessions off. He was really regretting not getting that ball away from Owens-White. And there is a steal right off Neely. Jones up with the right hand and good.
This guy's special. I tell you right now, this guy is special.
Wayne State's got the basketball, trailing by 31 now against Michigan. And there's a near side timeout by David Greer. Michigan leads 58-27 against Wayne State here in Detroit. And what a spark, I guess, the Wolverines had after starting slow again in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Devontae Jones said, you know what, let me take over. Let me go get us some buckets. And right now, I believe he's up to, how many points does he have now? 10? 10 maybe?
Devontae Jones has 10 right now.
So Devontae trying to put on a clinic here in the second half. He's upset about the free throw shooting, which is understandable. As a point guard, you gotta hit around a 75-80% clip in the Big Ten. But I mean, a lot to like. A lot we've seen that Wolverine fans are gonna like.
Michigan has 3 players already in double digits. That's Dickinson, Jones, and Houston. As Hunter Dickinson tries to get into double-double territory. He needs 3 more rebounds to accomplish that feat here today. But Michigan currently leading at 58-27. There's a lot to like, but there are a couple of things to dislike. And they're not covering ball reversals all that well. At the end of the first half, they did. But currently at the beginning of the first half and currently at the beginning of the second half, they haven't been able to cover after the screens very well against the shooters. And like you said, as they start to play more talented opponents like Purdue, Ohio State, Michigan State, Illinois, the shooters are going to take over, and they're going to be able to have big days if Michigan can't get around those screens.
Yeah, I mean, if they run a good play, they get open. But, I mean, against Wayne State, you should be there almost every time. I mean, you've got the physicality edge, you've got the athleticism edge. Getting around these screens shouldn't be a problem, and I'm sure that's something Howard will work them on in the upcoming practice.
15:45 remaining in the game clock. Second half action, Michigan leads it 58-27 over the Wayne State Warriors of the Division II GLIAC Conference, which includes Saginaw Valley State, Ferris State. Owens White steps back for a three. Right off the possession, it's no good. Rebound's going to go to Wayne State. Martin's got it. He's in the trees, and he somehow gets the shot to go against Johns and Dickinson. And now Wayne State is now trailing by less than 30 here at the field house. Jones has the basketball, gives it to Houston, reversal pass. Jones, top of the key, wide open try for Houston, and it's no good. The rebound's on the floor. Jones fighting for it. John's on the floor now. All the Wolverines are down there, and there's going to be a jump ball. 15:05 to go in the second half. Michigan leads by 29.
Devontae Jones does not care that this is an exhibition game where they're up 30. I mean, this guy's diving on the floor, going for the loose ball. He just wants it more out there.
He's just a third graduate transfer that Michigan's had, at least in recent history. Aaron Simmons, Mike Smith. And those are some names. So if he can live up to those expectations, Michigan's in good hands. Ball remains with the Maize and Blue at their scoring end of the floor. Inbound pass goes to Johns. He tries the right hand right away, and it's stuffed. Great block by Tyree Martin. Down the floor for Wayne State. The shot's up, and it's good. That's Darian Owens-White. He went straight into the chest of Caleb Houston, and he got the shot to go.
Wayne State down 27, but, I mean, there's truly no let-up. And this is good for the Wolverines, I think. I think this is going to be a test. It's saying, all right, 5-0 run, 7-0 run. Timeout, how are you going to respond? Come out of the timeout, go get a bucket, go get a stop, and continue how you were closing the first half out.
Michigan leads 58-31 over Wayne State here in Detroit. And you'd like to see Hunter Dickinson maybe get a little bit more involved on the offensive end. He's only touched the ball a couple of times here in the second half.
I mean, we can talk about the talent as much as we want, but this team revolves around Hunter Dickinson. If Hunter Dickinson's not going, this team's not going to go anywhere. Similar to the women's basketball team with Naz Hillman. There's talent around her, but she's the star, and she's got to show up, get the touches she needs, perform at a high level. And not that Hunter's playing bad by any means, but I would challenge Juwan Howard to find some new ways to get him the ball, get him involved. Maybe if it's on the wing, maybe get him a 15-foot jump shot. Just get him going in the second half and get that rhythm back.
Michigan with a 27-point lead. The fans are enjoying some scoreboard videos and some contests here at the Fieldhouse in Wayne State. And it's a really good turnout, of course. We talked about it at halftime. Maize and Blue faithful showing out for the Wolverines. And also, it's nice to see Wayne State sporting quite the student section to our left as well. It's pretty packed over there for the Warriors.
This is it's a big game for everyone here. Michigan, Wayne State, and especially the students. I mean, they're going to enjoy this one. You got a team like Michigan coming to town. You can't miss basketball, and they know that.
You see Michigan on the home schedule as a Wayne State student, you're like, I got to be there.
Yeah, I mean, could be a reason to go there right now. I'm split, college admissions, it's tough. Oh, Michigan's on the schedule, I'll go there.
Darian Owens-White to complete the three-point play. Shot 93% free throws last season, and it's pure. So the Warriors going to a press. Michigan having some trouble. Devontae Jones ends up getting the ball from Johns. Michigan has an advantage on the offensive side of the floor. Johns up to Dickinson, and he crams it home. Juwan Howard is playing the best defense of a coach that I've ever seen on a broadcaster right now.
He really doesn't want us to see anything, does he?
Avery Lewis has the ball for the Warriors. It's a full court pass over to Owens-White. He goes up with the right hand. The shot's no good. Offensive board. We talked about that at halftime. And Jones knocks it away, but the ball will go to the Warriors, and Juwan Howard's not happy. Devontae Jones is working overtime to get the cookies away from the Warriors.
Yeah, Juwan's not happy, and for good measure, because it a pretty clear shot from here. Devontae knocked it out. It went right off his foot out of bounds. So, I mean, with instant replay, maybe Devontae gets that call in the Big Ten.
Brandon Johns checks out. Into the game is Moussa Diabate. Inbound pass stolen. Brooks up to Diabate, and it's stolen away. Ball's on the floor. Look who has it. It's Diabate Jones. And they'll call a travel. He fell down. He wanted a timeout as he was falling, but as he found his backside, the referees are going to call travel.
I mean, I wanna talk about other players, but it's like Diabate's begging me to talk about him because it's just every trip up the court on defense. He's doing something special, hustling hard.
Wayne State's got the basketball. They'll be moving from left to right. Michigan leads 60-32. And Wayne State's going to be running with their athletic trainer on this near sideline. Darian Owens-White being checked out on his wrist. It looks like he's just bleeding a little bit. We'll back the play here in a second. Michigan has Diabate Jones, Musa Diabate, Hunter Dickinson, Caleb Houston, and Eli Brooks on the floor. Be facing off against Avery Lewis, Ray Williams Jr., Waylon Neely, Tyree Martin, and Darian Owens-White, who apparently is okay.
It's crazy to think, but this is, for some of these players out there, this is the largest crowd they've played in front of, and
certainly
maybe their entire life. Like Hunter Dickinson, biggest crowd he played in was like 20% capacity Lucas Oil Stadium last year. So, I mean, this is awesome for all the players involved.
And all the fans are right on top of you here at the stadium. Williams Jr. will try a pop-up shot. It's no good. Jump shot, no. Jones has the rebound. Near corner, Brooks wanted a three, doesn't take it. Jones, reversal to Houston. He pops his steps, looking to the corner. Dickinson, Brooks for three. Good!
That's special ball movement. You can't teach that. That's just, or maybe you can because Jawan's just that elite of a coach because that was special.
Dickinson was at the free throw line and just looked to the corner. That's quick passing. The Warriors have it. Lewis over to Williams. Dribbling real low, gives the ball back to Tyree Martin. Darian Owens-White drives the lane, somehow gets past Jones, puts it up with the right-hand floater, and it's good.
If there's one highlight for Wayne State today, it's for sure Owen Jones. He's put on a clinic.
Diabate Jones tries a three of his own off the front of the rim and no good. There is a foul underneath the basket. It looks like it'll go in Michigan's favor. The foul will go against Wayne State. That's Tyree Martin.
Wayne State foul on number 32, Tyree Martin.
Nate Talbot will check into the game. That's Martin's fourth personal foul. One more and he's out of the game.
It's like if Jawan needed any help playing defense on us, he's now got the workers at this arena.
Diabate, a quick inbound pass to Houston. The rebound goes to Wayne State. Underneath the basket, Owens-White comes down with it. He's been the do-it-all guy for the Warriors here in the second half. Neely has the basketball. Gets around the three-point arc. Now looking inside, Talbot at the far post. Lewis defended by Diabate. Great shuffling defense. Lewis heading into Dickinson. Michigan wants to travel. The shot's no good. Dickinson grabs the rebound. That was great defense on that end by Hunter Dickinson and the Wolverines. Jones inside. Diabate, a pump fake, shots up and it's good, but no shot on the floor. As Talbot was going to go over the back of Diabate, safely lands.
That's it's one Musa might want to just throw up at the rim. When you got him up in the air like that, you take advantage of the rules, you take the contact, you throw it up at the rim, and you're shooting two at the line.
Michigan leads 63-34, 12:40 to go on the clock. Houston with the basketball. Adrian Nunez checks into the game. He's got it now. He wears number 0 in maize and blue. Jones at the top of the key, 5 foot outside the three-point arc. He drives it on Owens-White. He lost the basketball, but he traveled with it. Hunter Dickinson looked ready to shoot the three. If play would have continued, I would have liked to see him try and shoot one.
Yeah, I mean, you watch warm-ups. It's like it's almost the only thing he does. He's shooting threes. He's making them. You're like, oh, maybe this guy is going to start shooting them more in the game, but haven't seen it yet. I think we will see it. I think we will see a lot more of it in the season.
Owens-White flips a pass over to Williams. And it's straight back to Owens-White. Gets a screen from Talbot. Drives the lane. Right-handed floater. He misses this one. Diabate grabs a strong rebound in a crowd of Warriors. Diabate dribbles it up. Between the legs dribble. He'll drive in on Lewis. Goes up with the left hand. The shot's good. Diabate works forward. He flexes a little bit. Michigan leads 65-34.
Yeah, Michigan, they don't get a lot of players like this guy. I mean, he is an animal.
Neely to Lewis, back over to Owens White. Into the post, Talbot blocked away by Dickinson. Houston's got it. He's across the midcourt stripe, down below to Diabate. He goes up with a shot. It's no good, but it's a traveling violation anyway.
Traveling, all Wayne State.
Still love to see the hustle though from Musa
Yes,
Diabate.
you do. It's something Juwan might work him on in practice again. The traveling. He's got to teach him the fundamentals of basketball again. Let him know. Only 2 steps.
Getting a well-deserved rest is Devontae Jones. Eli Brooks checks in along with Terrence Williams, who will rest Hunter Dickinson. Number 1 is 1 rebound away from a double-double. Who knows if he'll see more action for the Wolverines. Robinson into the game for the Warriors. He almost loses the pass over to Neely, defended by Nunez. He goes up with the left hand. It's blocked away. Musa Diabate is doing it all right now for Michigan. And he says, get out of here with that one, Braylon Neely. The ball goes over to Michigan.
For all the Wolverine fans out there that had some concerns over, are we going to be able to fill the talent gap from last year, the loss? Yeah, you can rest easy tonight because this team's got the talent. I mean, these guys are showing early that they are special.
Another freshman, Kobe Buffkin, into the game for the Wolverines. Brooks, nice pass, Diabate at the post. Working on Talbot. A quick spin, back up with the right hand, it's no good. Terrence Williams works for the rebound. He spins underneath the basket. Shot's no good, but he deserves a free throw or 2. The foul is going to go against number 23, Ray Williams Jr.
Wayne State foul number 20.
It's his 4th.
It's crazy. The whole offseason, you read all the articles, you're like, all right, we're getting these freshmen. This is awesome. But when you actually see them in person playing in the Michigan uniform, it's a special experience. I mean, you see why they raved about these guys.
One thing that you'd like to see Terrence Williams improve on is the free throws as he misses his first. Only shot 55% from the charity stripe in 2020. Owens White returns for the Warriors, sits down Williams Jr. Michigan leads 65-34, 10:57 to go in the game here in Detroit. The second shot from T. Will is up, and it is good. So he splits the pair at the line. Michigan leads it now 66-34. Neely working on Brooks, gives way to Owens White. He wants Talbot in the post, can't get it there. Robinson defended by Nunez. Left-handed dribble, gives it back to Neely. Neely staring down Brooks. Robinson, he shot a 3 earlier, doesn't take this one. He's defended by Buffkin. Back to Neely at the top of the key outside the 3-point arc. Works from left to right. Shots up. Shots off the front of the rim. Rebound goes to Diabate. Brooks now pushing. Across the midcourt stripe. Works with the right hand. Looks for Buffkin. He's at the free throw line. Back out to the left wing, Nunez. Inside to Terrence Williams. Williams working with the right hand. He's got a size advantage on Robinson. Puts it up. The fader is good.
Great move there by Terrence, and get a better hit.
68-34. 10 minutes to go in the second half. Behind the back dribble by Robinson. Great defense by Williams. He tipped it. That'll go down as a block. Rebound to Diabate. Over to Brooks. Stepped up for 3. It's good.
That's a layup for Eli Brooks. You can't let him walk into one open.
It's been all catch and shoot for 55 today. This time he steps right into one off of a dribble. 71-34 is the lead. Timeout on the near side. 30 seconds for the Warriors and David Greer. How about the Wolverines? With 9:45 to go in the second half, they have a 71-34 advantage here in Detroit over Wayne State.
This team's like a freight train. I mean, come out a little sloppy, but once it clicks, it clicks. They get going and truly are unstoppable.
Hey fans, time out for name that.
Well, welcome back in, everybody. WCBN Sports Ann Arbor. We're glad to have you along for men's basketball coverage this season. We'll be covering all home games and majority of the away games for Michigan men's basketball and women's basketball. So we hope to have you in for as much coverage as we possibly can. The Wolverines have a 71-34 advantage at this beautiful Wayne State University field house, where everyone's kind of packed in like sardines, but this has the feel of a preseason tournament venue.
Yes, it does. I mean, it's no Atlantis for the Wolverines, but this will do. It's just, we said it before, but it's just an awesome venue. And it's just, once again, great to be back in person with fans. It's a very cool environment. It gets pretty loud when Wayne State got going, and It's just a fun place. If I lived in the area, I'd bring my kid to a game and say, you know what, you're not. This isn't NBA basketball, but you know, it's better than the Pistons.
And see, you're a Bulls guy, so you can take that shot at a guy like me who's a Pistons fan.
Yes, I can. You know, it was rough going the last couple years, but now we've got a team in Chicago going.
Inbound pass for the Warriors. Lewis into Neely. He's defended by Brooks. Quick pass back over to Lewis, who's defended by Williams. Neely has the ball again, defended by Nunez. A quick crossover dribble. It's a good one. Corner three for Owens White. It's good. Kobe Buffkin couldn't get around the screen down at the post. And Owens White hits the three. Michigan with the basketball, moving from right to left. Buffkin, a step-up three. It's good. Assist over to Eli Brooks.
If Buffkin's hitting threes, he's going to be a pick-and-roll nightmare. I mean, you go over, he's going to drive and finish at the rim or hit the mid-range. And
David Hughes, who just stepped up into the game, gives the ball to Ray Williams Jr., who wanted a tomahawk slam, but he missed it off the back of the rim. Brooks. Nunez at corner three. No good. It was short. Rebound to Hughes. Neely with it, defended by Buffkin. Crossover dribble. Back to Lewis. He looks at a three, doesn't take it. Defended by Williams in the post. Left-handed hook shot is good. Wasn't even looking at the basket. Just put it up there, and Lewis put it home for two. 74-39, correction, Michigan lead. Diabate with it, top of the key. Kicks over to Brooks. He's at the left wing. Brooks, a right-handed dribble. Goes up with the right hand, it's no good. Diabate working for the rebound, can't grab it. Hughes had it. Now a couple Wolverines and Warriors on the floor. Nunez battled with Hughes. It's a jump ball. The ball will go over to Wayne State.
That's exactly how Nunez is going to earn minutes on this team. I mean, just hustling for that extra possession, going for the jump ball, trying to get the extra steal. It's the stuff any team in the country needs.
They certainly didn't expect only 3.4 minutes a game last season. A little bit of confusion on the floor. The Wolverines thought they were going to have the ball, but it is Wayne State's possession. Warriors have it, moving from left to right. Neely over to Lewis, trying to behind the backdoor pass. It's taken away though. Diabate has it. And that ball's taken away by Wayne State. Neely up the court. Williams can't chase it down. It was out of bounds. Michigan basketball.
I think for Williams' sake, it's good he bobbled that one because Diabate was going to do his best LeBron Game 7 impression there and pin that one against the backboard.
Now Williams was wide open for the pass, but well overthrown. I feel like I'm calling a football game right now at the pace.
It's good to know the East Lansing refs didn't come out here tonight.
Diabate with the basketball, top of the key. Brooks at the left wing, looking to the post. Diabate backing down Hughes. Dribbles a couple times with the right hand. Jawan in our way. Puts it up with the right hook, and it's good. 76-39, Michigan's advantage. Moving from left to right is the Warriors in their all-gray uniforms. The green lettering that reads Warriors. Owens White goes up with the right hand. It was almost blocked by Diabate. Owens White is hurt. But the shot was good. Michigan leads 76-41. Driving pass. Williams with the left hand. That shot's good. Looks like Owens White's going to play it off. He's limping pretty gingerly here in the near corner.
It's something you don't want to see if you're Wayne State, especially in this type of game. That's your star player. You got to have him healthy this year.
Three-point shot is good for Neely. Michigan leads by 34. The redshirt senior from Detroit just banked home his second three of the game. Under 7 minutes to go, Michigan by 34. Williams with a left-handed dribble, kicks to the left corner for Brooks. Williams a three, straight away, it's no good. Rebound goes to Wayne State. Neely pushing from left to right across the court. Lewis drives with the left hand, inside the paint, stolen away by Buffkin. Buffkin's got 2-on-1 with Brooks. Back to Buffkin and it's stolen away. Neely playing fantastic defense. Full court pass. Williams. A turnaround shot is good.
Great run here by Wayne State. Just playing great basketball on both ends.
Michigan will come to the half-court line and call a timeout with Brooks. 78-46 is the Michigan lead with 6:10 to go here in the game in Detroit. And Wayne State's starting to heat up a little bit, taking some shots that maybe they wouldn't typically take in a game down by this much.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to hit shots, and that's just going to happen at this. In college basketball, guys are good enough that they're just going to hit tough shots. So, I mean, it's going to happen, but obviously the sequence the Wolverines weren't looking for. One thing I want to touch on.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone was saying online, or the bloggers, that Musa's like crazy talented, but very raw as a player and not very polished. I truly am not seeing that in person. I think he's far more polished than I expected. I mean, you'd expect that out of a guy who's playing at IMG Academy. It's like going to college before going to college. But, I mean, his footwork's great. He's not forcing shots. He's positionally right on defense, and I think he's more of not a finished product, but far more polished than the Michigan fans anticipated.
Darian Owens-White looks like he's okay. He's not on the floor, but he's being checked out. Owens-White played in 70 career games for Wayne State, voted to the All-GLIAC first team last season, ranks 11th nationally in Division II in free throw percentage. A total athlete for Wayne State, he'll play a massive role in their GLIAC conference play this season. Michigan has the basketball, moving from right to left. Diabate in the post. Jones checked back in. Right back into the post for Diabate. He looked at a shot, didn't take it. There's a charging foul. Braylon Neely took it. Michigan does not like that. Juwan Howard really wants a flop, complaining for the call right in front of us.
That was looked like a flop to me, if I'm going to be honest. But, I mean, we'll save the correct calls for the games that matter, hopefully.
Second foul on Diabate. Under 6 minutes to go. Michigan leads 78-46. Neely working on Jones, who got a well-deserved break after stealing 4 or 5 balls away from Wayne State. Bufkin now defending Lewis. Augustine has it for the Warriors to Neely in the corner. Crosses over Williams. Pulls up for 3, it's no good. Augustine offensive rebound, and the ball trickles home.
By Caden Augustine.
30-point lead for the Wolverines. Wayne State on a big run right now. Jones gives the ball to Bufkin. Back to Jones. Gets a screen from Diabate, working with the right hand. Didn't look at a 3. Pass into the post for Diabate, stolen away. Williams has it. He has 4 fouls. Working into Nunez. Blocked away by Adrian. Now Devontae Jones working back across the midcourt logo. Drives him with the right hand. Diabate slams it home! You can count that one. Diabate flexes on him. Michigan leads 80-48.
Wow. I mean, this guy is he's just an athletic freak. I mean, that's the loudest we've heard this building all game. Michigan faithful just got loud because, I mean, it was it's a well-deserved moment to get loud. What a play.
Isaiah Barnes checks into the game for the Wolverines. Man, Musa Diabate jammed that one home, but who was the catalyst again? Devontae Jones.
I'm done talking about him, all right? You do it. They're going to think, listeners will think I'm related to him.
Diabate now into double figures. He has 12. Free throws no good. Neely has the ball. Jace Howard now to the scorer's table for the Wolverines. Ray Williams steps up. That's a 30-footer. It's no good. Hughes, the offensive rebound. Stuffed away by Diabate. Why not 1 block, but 2? Augustine, the offensive rebound. No good. Ball being tickled away. Oh, man. Man, Albert, there's so much going on. Diabate just had 3 blocks on that possession. He stuffed Williams. And I lost my words. I lost him. Musa Diabate is just wowing us so much that I couldn't even talk about him. It's Diabate for me and Jones for you as we've entered a timeout.
It's a very messy play, but the one thing you need to know is Diabate had it all under control. So the best way I could describe that one.
It was truly just a scrum under the Wayne State scoring basket. They had a couple of chances. Augustine missed 1. Williams missed 2. And then he also missed 2 more that just happened to be blocked. And the Michigan defense showing out right now. 4:34 in the second half. Michigan leads 80-48.
He learned his lesson there. I mean, if Diabate is towering over you like that, it's not going to end pretty. And I think we're going to see the Wolverines completely empty the bench here in the last 4 minutes and 34 seconds.
And Michigan has checked in Jace Howard and Brandon Wade. I mean, why not? Why not do it? The scorers table for Michigan, Hunter Dickinson with 14. Brooks has 12. Diabate has 12. Jones and Houston both have 10. 8 points for Brandon Johns, 8 points for Terrence Williams. Now the only other Wolverine to score was Adrian Nunez and Kobe Buffkin, each of them with 1 3-pointer apiece.
As a fellow big, Juwan Howard, it's a cruel act to take Hunter Dickinson out of this game. Just 1 rebound away from the double-double. I mean, he knows how important that is to a player themselves, and it's pretty cruel of Juwan, if you ask me.
Inbound pass from Neely goes to Owens White. He returns to the game. That's a good sign for Wayne State. Neely being defended by Diabate. That's a mismatch. Owens White being defended by Brandon Wade, a walk-on from Michigan, transferred from Desk Green a couple years ago. Pull-up shot for Owens White is good, right in the face of Wade. Wade will run the offense for Michigan. He attended nearby Ann Arbor Skyline High School, got in the stat book last March against Michigan State with a rebound. It's stolen away by Hughes, and the layup is good. Diabate tried to get into his way, but Wade lost his handle. 4 minutes to go, Michigan 80-52. Jace Howard with the basketball, had his brother Jet Howard commit not too long ago to play in a Wolverine uniform. Diabate a good pass. Buffkin's got it. Right-handed dribble, pull up from the free throw line is no good. Rebound to Diabate, doing it all. He goes back up and 1. He looks at the Michigan bench, flexes it home, and with 3:40 to go in the game, Michigan's lead is back up to 30 points.
I'm telling you right now, I think it'll be sooner than later that Moose's put in that starting lineup. The only reason not to is if you want the better player coming off the bench, because, I mean, if a team has to put their best big on Hunter Dickinson and they just have a secondary player guarding a guy like this, it's a matchup nightmare for almost any team in the country.
Diabate at the free throw stripe. The shot is no good. Rebound almost goes to Michigan, but it's tipped out of bounds by Isaiah Barnes. And Musa Diabate is going to get a standing O from the Michigan faithful here in Wade State, as Will Cheddar checks in.
What a game from Musa. Fans they got their money's worth on this ticket.
Neely working against Wade. Great defense from the scout team All-American for the Wolverines. Robinson gives way to Neely. Far corner. Owens White for 3. Great defense by Buffkin. I think he got a piece of it. Rebound goes to Barnes. Barnes wears number 11. Drives him with the right hand. His first shot is no good, but it'll go to the stripe. The 6'7" freshman from, you guessed it, your hometown, Chicago, Illinois.
He's the guy in this class. Him and Frankie Collins are the guys that I expect to see work their way up. Maybe not be high-impact players this year, but every successful program needs those 3-year guys, those 4-year guys who aren't just studs in college and immediately go to the draft. And in order to have an Eli Brooks, you'd need an Eli Brooks when he's 18 years old. So I think these guys will be Wolverines for a while.
First free throw attempt is no good from Barnes. He averaged 18, 8, and 3 at Simeon Career Academy in Chicago. His second free throw is good, and he has Michigan ties. His brother played at Eastern Michigan before transferring to UIC Chicago in the early 2010 decade. Neely a crossover dribble against Wade. Michigan leads 83-52. A pass into the post is a good one. David Hughes misses the shot. He was defended by Cheddar. Rebound goes to Barnes. He's working hard underneath the basket to grab a couple boards. Barnes into the post. Cheddar. A reversal layup is good. Wonderful pass by Isaiah Barnes. Standing wide open underneath the basket for the touchdown pass was Cheddar. Michigan leads at 85-52. 2:40 to go in the game. Wayne State still working fast. Owens White, a step-back shot against Buffkin is no good. Rebound to Hughes. He worked hard for it. Goes up with the right hand, and it's good.
Basket by David Hughes.
Bench looks pretty good out there. They look ready. Well-coached players. They know what they're doing.
The academic All-Big Ten in the 2020-2021 season, Brandon Wade with the basketball. Gets a screen from the freshman Cheddar. Wade, left-handed scoop and score. He got around a wonderful screen from Cheddar, and he's in the stat book. That's his first points in a Michigan University. University of Michigan uniform. I was thinking about Wayne State too much.
The bench love that
I think it's because I'm hungry a little bit,
yeah,
too.
Me too.
87-54 is the score here in Detroit. Michigan leads it with under 2 minutes to go. Owens White doing all that he can to try and get his numbers up in the stat book. Crosses over Cheddar. The shot's an air ball. Isaiah Barnes has been grabbing his share of rebounds underneath the basket. Kobe Buffkin, far corner. 3-point try for Wade. It's no good. Off the front of the rim and out.
Bench would have lost their mind if that one fell.
Be a near side timeout called by David Greer. They'll get a couple of substitutions in for Wayne State, and play will continue. Freddie Johnson, Cortez Jackson, LJ DeWolf, Tyree Martin, and Caden Augustine into the game for Wayne State. You have yet to inbound the ball. 87-54 is the lead for Michigan with 1:30 to go in this basketball game in Detroit. On the far wing is Jackson. He's defended by Buffkin. Buffkin almost takes it away, and Jackson's got it. He wears number 4. Dribbling with the left hand. He looks for Martin. He's got the basketball. Stepping up into Cheddar. Takes a step-back jumper from the free throw line. It trickles in and out. Brandon Wade grabs the rebound. 1 minute to go in the basketball game. Wade turns around. Buffkin for 3. It's no good. Off the front of the rim. Rebound goes to Martin. He's working overtime as well. Johnson now with the basketball. Dribbles from left to right. He gives way. That's LJ DeWolf with the basketball. Back to Jackson. Augustine outside the three-point arc. Johnson gets a screen from Augustine. He works on Barnes. Back to Martin outside the three-point arc. DeWolf tries a long three-pointer. It's no good. Rebound goes to Buffkin with 25 seconds to go.
Wolverines probably just going to dribble the ball out here.
Yeah, Juwan Howard says relax right there. Will Cheddar with the basketball. Michigan into their offense. But Juwan Howard says, hold on, guys. This game's in the back pocket. Buffkin will dribble it out against Cortez Jackson. It was a great showing by Wayne State, but Michigan's going to go home with the win that they should have had. 87-54 is the final score here in Detroit. Michigan takes home their exhibition game win, and they'll face off against Buffalo next Wednesday.
Just overall great game. I think Wayne State's got some things they should be happy about, and Wolverines have a lot to be happy about going home. Back to Ann Arbor with the season starting on Wednesday. Exciting times for Michigan basketball.
Michigan will take a look at the final stat sheet. You had to like the way that they played with the lineups. And obviously they got a lot of freshmen in. They had a big lead. That's okay. You can do that. But in games moving forward, Juwan Howard, they had that close scrimmage against DePaul. They had this exhibition game against Wayne State. They got to work on quite a few things and work on some lineups that maybe they didn't think that they had preseason.
Yeah, I mean, this game's got to have Juwan thinking. It's just a lot of good players out there. It's just he's going to have to mix and match a lot of us, as I've said before. There's no recipe for success right now. I mean, you throw any of these guys out there, you're probably going to get good production. But there's going to be some interesting combinations he throws out there, and I think Michigan fans should trust him. I think by the end of the year, he'll get that right rotation.
Wayne State today was led by Darian Owens White. He went 8 for 22 from the field. He by far led the Warriors in shooting. The next highest field goal attempts was by Braylon Neely, who was 2 of 13. 20 points for Darian Owens White. On the Michigan end of things, Hunter Dickinson and Musa Diabate tied in scoring at 14. 10 points each for Devontae Jones, Caleb Houston. 12 points for Eli Brooks. 8 points from Terrence Williams. But an overall great team showing by the Wolverines.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of standout performances, but no one really dominated the score sheet today, which is a good thing. I mean, obviously you want games where you've got a guy going for 25 and he can carry you to the win, but if you're getting this production top to bottom, and honestly, I think a lot of players could have played better and still ended with a quiet, like Caleb Houston, quiet 10 points. Probably not his best game, missed a lot of threes that he would want back, but if he's just getting you a quiet 10, a quiet 12 from Devontae, it adds up very quickly.
Final score, Michigan beats Wayne State in a dominant performance, 87-54. Everyone, thanks for listening to WCBN Stream. My name's Zach Linfield alongside Albert Kaskel from Detroit, Michigan. tune in next Wednesday for Michigan and Buffalo. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to WCBN Ann Arbor, and go Blue. Great job.